And Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Don't waste your time or money on products that are ineffective. Trust drug-free Navage for fast relief to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said, I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple of people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around this store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Vivian to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake.
I'm sorry, I just saw something more horrible than anything I've ever seen in my life. We happen to have here around the horn on Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, and, Woody Page. You know Woody Page?
Yeah.
I just happened to glance up there, and look, he's Taylor Swift.
Is that what that is?
I think so. And I had no idea, and I just looked, and I saw that, and I was like,
Woody Page.
No warning or anything.
Hey, give Woody credit. Even, I don't know how old he is, but he still can make fun of himself. He can still enjoy himself. And so at first glance, it was a little scary, but you know what? I'm all for it. Do you, Woody?
That's great. I'm still dealing with the first glance part of it. Really, that just, wow. Anyway, happy Halloween. Yeah, costumes for us.
I know. I like your shirt there, though.
Thank you.
People in the YouTube chat, they might be able to see it. Fright Time. Yeah. How old is that shirt?
This is like 30 years old.
Really?
Yeah. And it's been folded up for about 30 years. And I looked for it today and I found it. It's like, hey, what the heck?
Oh, okay.
Halloween.
It's not like it's in the rotation you wear or anything like that. I was like, if you got a shirt 30 years old that still looks that good?
Yeah, it's just been folded up.
What's the over-under on how many years you can actually wear a T-shirt?
I don't know. Deuce, we had Deuce on Friday. It's funny because he always makes fun of me for wearing old shirts. People, they buy a T-shirt that's supposed to look old. If I have an old T-shirt that's still functional, I'll wear it. I'll wear an old T-shirt. Why not? What's wrong with that? I think I have one in rotation, semi-rotation, 2002 U.S. Open.
Really?
Yeah.
2002. Let me think. Don't you think over time going through the washing machine and everything, it would be faded, start to rip just a little bit?
Yeah, but it's in pretty good shape.
I think my oldest T-shirt is about 2009. 2000. No, it might be 2006. I think I got this.
Like brand new.
I got it. But it goes from you wear it outside to you wear it at the gym to you just wear it around the house or you sleep in it.
Yeah.
There's different levels to the T-shirt, you know?
To me, there's one level after sleeping it. Then it's yard work.
Yard work, right? It becomes a dust rag or something like that, Yeah, my 2006 shirt is just a sleeping shirt now. Mm-hmm. It can't go outside. I can't be seen in it.
I think I've worn it here, 2002 Western Conference Finals.
Oh, is that?
Kings.
Oh,
Yeah.
so now that's different though,
Okay.
Whitey. That's like a throwback. That's like, you know, it's like wearing a Reggie Theus jersey or something like that. You know,
It's
you
almost
wear
like a trophy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today, man?
Are you going to
T-shirts?
start by apologizing to the 49ers?
For what?
I mean, they're loaded now. The 49ers are loaded.
Weren't they loaded 3 or
That's
4
what we
weeks
thought.
ago?
Turns out, no, not so much. Chase Young, the newest 49er. I'm just kidding. But as far as you owing them an apology, of course.
Of course.
But, I think they needed pass rush help. They needed offensive line help. They needed corner help. At least they got the pass rush part of it checked out.
No, I love this deal for the Niners. You know, I'm a big Chase Young fan. You know, I was talking to Emil Fergoso walking in, and, you know, Washington is a dumpster fire of an organization. Everybody thought, oh, get rid of Dan Snyder, things would change. They're clearly selling off pieces. You're talking about a 24-year-old former number 2 overall pick, and you add him to this team, this defensive line. Now, this is going to cause nightmares for every offensive line out there. How do you block these guys?
If they don't get to the quarterback
right now, it's like, what more can you do?
Right.
And so I think it's a great move from the Niners, not only from a personnel standpoint, but they're going for it. You know, and as a fan of a team, that's all you can ask for. You know, because I'm an Eagles fan, I want to criticize the move. Oh, now you got to go out and get. But if I'm a Niners fan, this is what you want from John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. You want an embarrassment of riches. And clearly, you know, through the first 7 games or whatever, 8 games, the defensive line was not getting it done. And so now you add this guy in a contract year, I would imagine. So he's going to be hungry. Mm-hmm. And so and it's just for a third-round pick, compensatory third-round pick, which if he leaves, you get it back anyway. And so I think this is a huge coup for John Lynch and the Niners.
I think it also sends a message to the rest of the team like, hey, we've lost 3 in a row, but we're all in. It's a positive message. And John Lynch does have a history of doing this. See, last year with Christian McCaffrey. And on the crossover, we were talking about the fact that a couple years ago at the deadline, the 49ers wanted offensive help and they wanted Odell Beckham Jr. And their record was so poor at the time. Were they 3-5? And Odell Beckham Jr. looked at the Niners and like, I don't want to go there. John Lynch had to come out and say, you know, right now we're not a great destination for a player like that. But they tried.
Yes. And now it's completely different, right? It's completely opposite. Like, you know, forget the record. I know I've been piling on the Niners the last 3 weeks. When it's all said and done, they're going to be in the mix for an NFC championship berth. They're going to be in the mix for a trip to the Super Bowl. And now you add a 24-year-old defensive stud like Chase Young, who has not played his best football yet. 5 sacks so far this season. You got him for more than half the season left to go. This is a huge move, a huge coup for them.
And I do think it addresses their biggest need. And we can go back and forth, and I'm sure we will. You know, we've been arguing all week long, and we'll continue to argue until they play better. What's the problem? What's wrong? A lot of things are wrong, but I do think the inability of the front to get pressure on the other quarterback is the single biggest problem. And the fact that the defense is just like marshmallow soft, I think that's the biggest problem of the handful of problems the 49ers have. This should help.
Look, it should help. But as the naysayer that I am, why are they in this position, Whitey? We didn't say that at the beginning. We thought the defensive line was a strength of this team going into the season.
Well, it's a great question because remember last year they thought it was a strength of the team, and then they had to get Hargrave.
Yeah.
And then they had to get Jackson, right? Or Randy. Oh, sorry, Randy
Gregory.
Yeah, pardon me.
Randy Gregory, not Randy Jackson.
Yeah, right. Yeah, come on.
People are like, who?
Little pitchy dog.
Yeah. But now I'm looking at this defensive
they
line.
Got Cleveland Farrell. My point is they keep trying to upgrade because it's been a problem for a long time, and it's a bit of a mystery.
And if it's a problem going forward, I don't know what else you do, right? Like Cleveland Farrell had a great game, I thought. The other
He's probably
day,
their second best pass rusher.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And now he goes, to the second unit, maybe. So you got Chase Young, Eric Armstead, Hargrave, and Bosa. Wow. And Farrell, Javon Kinlaw, and Randy Gregory as well.
And like Jackson actually is Drake Jackson, but he
Drake Jackson. Yeah,
he has not played very well this year.
No,
He's
hasn't.
Underperformed. They had high hopes for him, but he just hasn't really produced.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And they are loaded now defensively. And they didn't address the secondary.
Or did they?
Or they may have tried, right? Like, what's the deal? Explain to me what's happening with the Giants. I'm walking in and Emil Fergoso is like, oh, they were about to pull off this move, but then the Giants failed to submit it in time.
That's
set the
all
table.
I know.
Yeah,
if we even know that. That's what I heard.
Right.
I don't know if anybody knows it. For Adoree Jackson.
Adoree Jackson, yeah. It's
you know why I'm buying it?
That they did do that deal, like that
it fell through.
Yeah.
I know listening to Styles and Watkins, they were saying that Tim Kawakami had been suggesting the Niners aren't done yet. Tim Kawakami is very well connected, and he's got skins on the wall. He didn't just throw that stuff out there to get clicks. And he said, I'm standing on my reputation. So nothing got done, but I believe that he had reason to believe they were really trying, and they almost did do something. Well, maybe we'll find out, but I bet they were in on that.
Now, I'm on this website, NinersNation.com. And so I'm just reading Wesley Steinberg, who covers the Giants and the NFL. The Giants had agreed to a trade with the Niners for cornerback Adoree Jackson, but failed to report it. Editor's note: it was a fake account. Whoops, I'll eat that. So we need to deep dive, because Tim Kawakami, like you said, 49ers are closing in on another trade. I don't know who it's for, but it seems likely they've got one more. That was at 12-14. And so I'm not sure who to believe right now.
Right.
But if they didn't address the corner situation, one way you can help your secondary is by upgrading the front four. And that's what they did. And so now quarterbacks may not have 4 or 5 seconds to survey the field. Now you may have to get the ball out in 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds, and that helps your secondary.
Also yesterday, Kyle Shanahan said something that we'll address later in the show. And this may sound like an excuse. I think it was just an honest reaction to the game film. He said, we look slow and tired. And, if that's true, no excuses, but if that's true, and they look that way to me too, then they should benefit from the bye week.
They should, right? And now it's no excuses coming back. You got a week off. If slow and tired was your excuse, and you rarely hear that, I think, in the NFL. It's like you don't hear a team saying, we're just tired. Like, not at week 8, week 9. Like, really? Yeah, exactly. And so if they're tired now, sure, they got the bye week, but then what's going to happen when you still have 9 games left to go and the playoffs? Are you going to be tired in mid-December again? And so I'm not buying that as an excuse. I don't believe he said that. I know he said it. I don't believe it doesn't make sense.
They did look slow and tired, but I'm with you. The coach isn't supposed to say that. And
right.
There's really not a lot of upside to say on that.
Not a lot of upside at all. You know what? The guys just need a kick in the butt. Let's call it what it is, right?
They're looking up now, as you said yesterday, at Seattle.
Yes.
They're looking up at the Lions. They're looking up, of course, at forget the team in Philadelphia.
At the best team in football, the Philadelphia Eagles. And you can't argue that. Record-wise, the Eagles are the best team in football. And so they had to do something, this Niners. Like, if they would have just stood pat, I think it would have been highly disappointed. Now you bring in Chase Young, a sense of renewed optimism, a shot in the arm, if you will, and we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, and speaking of big trades, tell you what the Harden trade means for the NBA, the West, and the Kings when we come right back on the Halloween edition of the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Thanks for being with us. Happy Halloween on the chat. People going back and forth on Chase Young. Some people excited, other fans less than overwhelmed by some of his sack numbers. You know, Kyle, you can slice those things a number of ways now, especially in the age of analytics. I know that his win rate and his pressure rate this year, they're very high. So don't just look at the sack. As 5 sacks in 7 games this season. Yeah, I think the question mark with him would be 34 games over 4 seasons with Washington, 14 sacks. He missed 2023, the opener with a neck injury. He has had some injury issues, but he's been a productive player.
Yeah, he has.
Around that.
No, but you're right about his injury situation. I'm looking at it. Is this correct? 3 games last year, 9 games the year before, a rookie year, 15 games. And so he's had trouble staying on the field. And while he's an immense talent, we know that obviously. Once again, you have another guy that health is going to be something you have to monitor. Like, if he's there, great. But, the history of the Niners, injury history, it raises little eyebrows. I still make the move if I'm John, like, the dude is 24. Like, he was a stud coming out of Ohio State. And so I love the move, but man, he has had trouble staying on the field.
That's why I like, to the point you made earlier, I like the fact that you got a guy in his contract year.
Mm-hmm.
And look at what Bosa did last year. You know that player cannot possibly be more motivated to give you everything he's got in the contract year.
Yeah, but, you bring that up, and, if I'm the Niners, obviously you want him to be hungry. You want him to go out there and be a difference maker. You don't have to bring him back. But you look at Bosa, like, is Bosa going to be motivated? I actually thought Nick Bosa, played pretty well the other day.
I think he's played pretty
well. I thought he's played. Now, he hasn't been Nick Bosa of last year.
Right.
But it's not paid and mentally retired. I don't buy that. I'm not seeing that out of Nick Bosa. The results aren't there, but, the Nick Bosa I watched the other day in that loss, like, the hunger was still there. The fire was still there. In fact, a couple of Armstead sacks were because Nick Bosa got up the field and pressured. And so I hope we do get a motivated Chase Young. But then do you bring him back next year too? Like, it can go either way.
We'll see how he plays, right? And
yeah.
Hopefully he forces you into making a tough decision with the way he plays. I thought it was interesting also that the Bears got Montez Sweat.
Yes.
And they got him for a 2nd-round pick. And the 49ers got Chase Young for a 3rd-round pick. Young has probably a better pedigree, but perhaps this year he hasn't played quite as well. But that seems like a good bargain given what the Bears had to give up for Sweat.
Yeah, but I think, Montez Sweat, is having a better season, than with Chase Young. And so I don't think a 3rd-round pick, especially a compensatory pick, when you, can get it back after that, to me, it's almost like free money. Like, you really didn't have to give up a whole lot. And, meanwhile, a 2nd-round pick. Yeah. Now that's pretty hefty to give back. But from the Niners standpoint, to me, it's a no-risk kind of move, right? If it doesn't work out, you let him walk and you move on, but now you address a need and you get it during the bye week. So you don't have to rush him in or anything. Now he gets a full week of practice with the team and you get ready to face Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville.
You know what I wonder about, and no one's really talking about this, and I understand why, because there's nothing that can be done now about the trade for Trey Lance, but they could really right now use some of the players they could have gotten with the picks they traded out for Trey Lance.
Right? No, you're right. Think about that. Like, when we talk about the haul they gave up for Trey Lance, it wasn't like you gave up 5th or 6th rounders. Like, you gave up first-round picks, second-round picks, and that's how you build depth on your team. And I think when you look at this Niners franchise,
like Micah Parsons,
right?
Like,
Because you could have had Micah Parsons. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh! Can you imagine Micah Parsons on one side and Bosa on the other? But you weren't supposed to be in this position to scramble to try and fill holes. This was supposedly a ready-made team to start the season, and clearly these last 3 games, the Niners have been exposed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree with that. I think offensively there's still some positive signs here, but at some point, someone's just got to make a stand, and the whole team, somebody's got to start playing better,
right?
Plays and playing better. Yeah, we'll see if they're able to do that against the Jacksonville team that's playing pretty good football. By the way, when I named the list of teams that are ahead of the 49ers right now, we went to break, and guess who was quick to remind me during the break? Oh, you got to put Dallas in there too, Whitey. Don't forget Dallas.
So by record, by record, the Niners are the 5th best team in the NFC right now.
And they've earned every bit
They
of that.
have earned every bit of that, And what concerns me, I guess, they haven't – I keep telling you, I think they need a wide receiver. I think when you watch what the Eagles did, the Eagles were set at wide receiver. Then they go bring in a veteran like Julio Jones. Bring in somebody like that, and you don't have to go out there and get Devontae Adams or anything like that. But I think the loss of Deebo Samuel has really hampered, and throw Trent Williams in there too. I know Trent's a big part of it, but not having Deebo has really hampered this Niners offense. 17 points per game in each of the last 3 games. We can blame the defense all we want. The offense hasn't been getting it done either, Whitey.
Well, you know how much I enjoy talking about Philadelphia.
Yes.
So we'll continue to do that here as we look at the big trade in the NBA.
Yes.
How about that? James Harden going to the Clippers. What does this mean for the West, for the Kings?
I think this is massive for Philadelphia. I think this is huge. I don't think this impacts the Clippers much. Like, I looked at a story, and they went from a minus or plus 2,800 to plus 1,400 or something crazy like that. But James Harden does not deliver when it matters the most. To me, it does not move the needle from a win and loss standpoint with this team. James Harden is a historic underachiever, Whitey. He'll put up some flashy numbers. Game 1 against Boston, game 4, but then he'll disappear when you need him the most. And so I love this trade for Philadelphia. And I'm not saying that just because, that's my hometown team and I'm trying to be a homer. What they were able to do, they have more flexibility now today than they did yesterday. They got multiple picks. They got a couple of players. So now maybe they go out there and get an OG Anunoby. Maybe they try and get a Pascal Siakam. So Daryl Morey's out here playing chess while everybody else is playing.
And Tyrese Maxey is blossoming.
Is that dude, right? Like, it's addition by subtraction. And everybody's saying, oh, they didn't get a star player or anything like that back, the Sixers.
But they might.
They might, though. They are not done. They got, multiple picks. They got pick swap as well. I actually like KJ Martin. Sacramento fans should know him very well because he victimized us last season. Marcus Morris Sr. goes back home. And so they're a deeper team right now, and they have some flexibility. Let's say you're Toronto, and I'll offer you – no, you know what? Let's say you're Chicago, and I'll offer you a package of a couple of KJ Martin, another player, and 2 first-round picks for Zach LaVine.
That's the one I've been thinking of. Yes.
Like, that's – Chicago has to, at some point, hit the reset button, the rebuild, and they need picks. If I'm them, I'm looking at what OKC did. I'm looking at what the Utah Jazz are doing right now. You acquire the picks. And so Zach LaVine in that offense, in that system, Tyrese Maxey, Zach LaVine, and Joel Embiid, the Sixers aren't done yet.
I'm with you. It seems like a head scratcher from the Clippers perspective. The only thing I could come up with, and it looks like kind of a desperate move where they're doubling down on this get superstars towards the end of their run strategy. It's backfired on them to this point. I'm wondering if part of this is they're thinking, Paul George and Kawhi, they tend to break down. Maybe if they do, one of them breaks down, maybe they both break down. Maybe Harden's still able to play. Maybe it's an insurance policy against one or both of those guys getting hurt. But I'm with you. It's a bit puzzling to try to understand what they think, how they think they're going to benefit. And it also, to me, throws Westbrook's role now kind of up in the air, and he actually has been pretty good.
He's been pretty good. He's been a leader for them. And, when you look at Harden going to the Clippers, does that move Westbrook to the bench? And isn't that what they had with the Lakers? And it didn't work out. And so, and when you look at what the Clippers do, Paul George is sort of a de facto point guard almost for them. Now you take the ball out of his hands. And so James Harden, he has to adapt his game. He had a tremendous regular season, I thought, for the Sixers last year. But in terms of a fit, this is not what they need. You know what the Clippers need? And a lot of teams need this. They need like a Rajon Rondo kind of point guard, somebody like that, somebody who really can get the ball moving, a Chris Paul kind of situation. They don't need a guy that's going to pound it out, dribble out the shot clock, and then chuck it up. And I don't see James Harden just standing in the corner watching Paul George do his thing. And so this is a desperate move by the Clippers.
I agree.
And all these guys, if I'm correct, can be free agents after this season. And you gave up all your draft capital in this deal and the Paul George deal as well. So the Clippers, I think they're in trouble.
Yeah, it's a head scratcher. I'm assuming on some level that Paul George and maybe Westbrook too were for it. Maybe that's one of the reasons they did it. Maybe they endorsed the move. I don't think if you're a Kings fan, you really have to lose any sleep over this one, though. Coming up, speaking of the Kings, Kyle Draper is going to tell us about his brand new TV partner. Who's also going to join us this afternoon. And we'll look at the state of the Kings 3 games in when the Drive Guys come right back on Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at FolsomLakeHonda.com. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
It's time now for the Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Home Services. For all your roofing and solar needs, visit acrhomeservices.com. Well, the return of Jimmy G didn't mean much versus Detroit. He threw his league-leading 9th interception, but also didn't have much time as he was sacked 6 times. Possession of the ball, also a huge difference in the game, as Detroit had the ball for almost twice the amount of time as Vegas and ran 36 more plays. That's your Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Home Services. Let ACR Home Services be your one-stop shop for all your home needs, starting with unbeatable roofing services. Right now, get a new roof and receive $1,000 off that roof. So sign up today and save with no payment for up to 12 months. And ACR is more than just a roofing company. Whether it's roofing, solar, electrical work, you name it, when you choose ACR Home Services, you're not just getting a contractor, you're partnering with a team that's invested in your satisfaction. That's ACR Home Services.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Look for mostly sunny skies this afternoon and light winds. Afternoon highs will peak in the mid-70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Basking in the afterglow of the 49ers' big trade on this Halloween. Yeah, Chase Young is now a San Francisco 49er, and it seems like every year now the 49ers are trying to upgrade the pass rush. Well, we got to upgrade the pass rush. Pass rush is what we thought it would be. It's been going on for a while now, but Chase Young should help. His pass rush grade is 79.7. What does that mean? I don't know, but it's a career high. His win rate is 18.4%. Is that good? That's a career high. It must be. He's got 5 sacks and 38 pressures. So
is that good?
I think that's pretty good.
Okay, that's all right. And
the quarterback must go down, as Al Davis used to say.
Yes, you go for it. And it's sort of all, we talked a few weeks ago about this. It reminds me of the 90s, early 90s, when the Cowboys and Niners, and it was just a drive to see who can get and that's what the Niners are doing right now. They go out and get Randy Gregory, who's, I think, been a great addition. Now you go out and get Chase Young. Like, it's an arms race. They recognize this is the year. You got to go all in, push all your chips in. Whatever it takes to improve this roster, you got to do it. And so from a Niners standpoint, a fan standpoint, I think it's a great move.
Yeah, and it just needed to be done.
Yeah,
when you're reeling like this, and I made a joke about all the teams are looking up at, but man, that's alarming right now. I know we'll talk about this in a little bit here, but Dante Whitner, the hitman, he says, "Oh, it's panic button time." He says, "Hey, it's time to hit the panic button."
Wow, after 3 straight losses, yeah. The ship be sinking. I forget who said that. Remember back, that was the NBA saying. And so they had to do something, right? It wasn't just going to be, the bye week can't come soon enough. Well, hit the reset button. Now you infuse some life into this defensive line. And, and for Chase Young, you go from arguably the worst run NFL franchise to now a model franchise, a historically great franchise, a legacy franchise. And so you might even see a hungrier Chase Young this season.
By the way, it was Christmas night, 1981. Michael Ray Richardson.
Yeah.
After the Knicks lost 4 straight. The ship be
sinking.
I had to look it up. I remembered it, but I didn't remember
that?
Where it was from.
Yeah.
But that's one that's lasted.
Yes, it's lasted 40 years, and that's what was happening for this Niners
That's
team.
older than this shirt even.
Really? About a year or so, right? A year or so. Yeah. But think about it, though. Like, has there been, and I know the Niners have had some roller coasters. Has there been a steeper fall from grace in the middle of a season than what we've seen from the Niners so far?
From the 49ers?
I can't remember 2019 they started off?
Yeah, they usually go the other way.
Yeah, usually it's the other way. Start slow and then take off. Like, and we, applauded them at the beginning of the season. They came in with the right mindset. They're all business. Forget all the outside noise. And one hiccup, one bump in the road, and bam, they're off the track.
I'd still rather be the 49ers than the Eagles when you look at that Eagles upcoming schedule, though.
Nah, but you see what we did to the Dolphins? That was supposed to be a tough game, and we smacked them up, beat them pretty easily.
Got some tough games coming up.
Do have some tough games. I'm not worried about Dallas. It's got 2 games coming up against the Dallas, one at home, one on the road. I'm not worried, but that Buffalo, Kansas City, Niners stretch that they have, Seattle in the mix, man, that is tough. That's tough. If you can, hold off and don't lose 3 out of those 4 games, to me, that's a success if I'm the Eagles.
Well, how about the Kings just bouncing over the Kings, talking about holding on here through a rough stretch, because the Kings now are without De'Aaron Fox. We don't know how long he's going to be out. 77 games without De'Aaron Fox since he became a King. They're 33-44. So what do you think, Kyle Draper, right now? What is the state of the Kings? What's reasonable in terms of how well they can play while De'Aaron Fox is recovering?
I think, when you look at the Sacramento Kings schedule, and I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to go game by game here. You mentioned all the games he's missed in his career. I can say that they are more prepared now than they've ever been when De'Aaron Fox has missed some time. And so when you look at the upcoming games, sure, you got a tough one tomorrow night at Golden State. Even if De'Aaron Fox played, you might not win that game. And so if we lose tomorrow, we can't be like, we didn't have Fox. So, the Warriors have had our number recently. So maybe you lose that game. But then you got Houston.
Win-win.
Don't do it. That's how you jinx people, Whitey. That's how you were earlier with the Niners. It didn't fun. Like, dude, you got to respect the opponent. And I'm going to
win. Wins the game. What time?
Win. Because it's 2. All right. I get it. But you got to respect the opponent. So Houston, Portland, Oklahoma City. That's when it gets tough. Cleveland. That's a little tough game. Lakers at LA. And so they say De'Aaron Fox is out at least for tomorrow. He's going to miss more games.
Yes, I was going to say.
He's going to miss more games.
And he should miss more.
And he should miss. Right. You don't want to rush him back. The thing is, I would rather him obviously miss 1 week. Like if he misses 1 week, I think they can handle that. They can stem the tide. If he misses 2 weeks, that's when you get into the Oklahoma City, the Cleveland, the Lakers. I had San Antonio. This is a tough schedule, man. After Houston and Portland, because then you go on the road. Lakers, Spurs at the Spurs. That's not an easy win anymore.
No.
That's not an easy
win. If
win.
you're playing in the West, they're really
right.
I mean, maybe Portland and Houston.
Right. Maybe.
But that's as close as you get to any easy games.
Then you got at Dallas, 2 against New Orleans on the road, at Minnesota, home against Golden State, Clippers, Denver. So I think this stretch is critical. I would obviously give De'Aaron Fox at least a week off. I wouldn't even try and bring him back for the games in Houston. Say, you know what, De'Aaron, we got it. This is why we have our depth. Davion can handle it. Malik can handle it. Kobe Jones will get some minutes. You need De'Aaron Fox for mid to late November when that schedule gets really tougher. I think they can handle it in the short term. Long term, then you start, it's becoming questionable.
You just got to make sure you have him for the games in Vegas in the
exactly
in-season tournament,
the semifinals and the finals in-season tournament. But I'm looking at this schedule, Whitey, and obviously you want De'Aaron Fox to be healthy. Obviously you want him not to rush back. So that's why
anything lingering. You don't want anything lingering where he plays a couple. It's sore. He's got to sit down.
Yeah, you don't want anything lingering throughout the season. But that's why it's imperative on Davion and some of these other guys. All right, your leader's gone. Somebody has to step up. It has to be a collective, obviously. But I don't want De'Aaron sitting at home or watching the game, seeing his team lose 3 in a row and thinking, oh, man, I got to hurry back. Or this is the chance for Davion and some of these other guys to say, De'Aaron, don't worry. We got your back. We'll be able to handle it.
Well, it'd be great, obviously, to get a win tomorrow. But I'll tell you what, the Warriors, I saw them last night. They were on NBA TV. They're really playing well right now. Steph Curry, what he's doing right now is it's ridiculous. He was already ridiculous. But now watching him this year, I know it's a year just started, but it's hard to believe what he's doing so far.
No, he's one of the game's greatest players ever. And
he's taking it somehow to a next level at age 52 or whatever he is.
He is indefensible right now. I mean, when you combine his shooting with his ball handling and his basketball IQ, he's tough. What he was doing last night against the Pelicans, right? Was it the Pelicans last night?
And now he lets you know about it.
Yeah,
too.
now he's talking to trash too. And there's no way of stopping this guy. And so it'll be interesting to see how the Kings try to defend him. Do they take the ball out of his hands? Do they make him more of a passer? But he's playing arguably at an all-time high right now, which is crazy to think. Like, I've been the biggest Warriors critic out here. Like, they're going to be, why are they getting – Steph gives you a chance night in and night out, and it's amazing what we're seeing from him.
Yeah, if he keeps it up, maybe he's never done this. Of course, leads the league in scoring. I don't think he's ever done that, has he?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Maybe he adds that to his resume.
I
don't know.
I tell you what.
Chris Paul's coming off the bench now, and he's okay with it.
Right.
It's a little scary.
It's a scary how well they're playing, right? I mean, think about it. Last year, they couldn't buy a win on the road. This year, they're perfect 3-0. They never had a 3-game win streak on the road last season.
That's right.
This year, they're already off to a 3-0 start. And so what I'm seeing from the Warriors, and mind you, they haven't been fully healthy. Clay sat out last night. Wiggins hasn't been himself yet. And so it's scary that they can get even better. And, we saw them obviously last week in Golden State. Their ability to move the ball is just scary. Like their offense is so efficient. And so I may have to amend my Warriors prediction. Not yet, Whitey. I'm not going to say the first week of the season. Now we know what's going to happen, but they're off to a better start than I thought they'd be.
Speaking of guards and point guards, tell us about your new TV partner who we're going to be talking to today, right?
Yeah, I can't wait to have Mike Bibby on our show coming up today at 4:15. You don't want to miss that. And we know he's a Kings legend, part of those great Sacramento teams, but now he's going to be joining us on the TV side on the pre and post game show and halftime show starting tomorrow. He'll be with Morgan Reagan. And this is a huge get because, one thing that, NBC and the Kings have tried to do is tie this year's team, the current state of the franchise, to the glory years. Mm-hmm. And so many times, I've worked in other cities, Boston, for instance, and the legends, they move away and they never come back, and they're not a part. This way, now you bring in back a legend who's going to be a part of your broadcast team. You'll see Mike Bibby. So I think that's a huge get for the Kings organization in the city.
Yeah, you're right. And they got two of the members of that team that, Bobby Jackson was a coach for a long time, and Doug is on the bench.
There,
so
exactly.
A lot of guys have kept in touch.
And I love the fact that having Mike Bibby around, same thing with Doug, they know what it takes to become a winner. And so I'm sure he'll be going to practices sometimes, talking to the guys sometimes. And to me, that can only help this Kings team.
When we come back, take a look at the three big issues the NBA in-season tournament must overcome as we get ready for that, which the Kings hopefully are going to win, right? The commercials are great, by the way. The in-season tournament commercials.
Yes, they have been. They're doing a great job marketing.
Yeah, we'll be right back. It's Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're a business owner, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton invites you to take advantage of a 4.9% APR for up to 36 months on select 2022 and 2023 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans. And since new Sprinters qualify for the generous Section 179 tax deduction for business vehicles, you can save thousands. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, sales, service, and a dedicated commercial vehicle department to help your company with any job. See our inventory at mbofstockton.com.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone. Every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slowed. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from this station's network.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone for the life of your garden. Not much went right for the red and gold in Week 8, losing their third straight game of the season, 31-17. Cincinnati quarterback Joe Burrow was cooking early, throwing for 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. Running back Joe Mixon also got involved, going for 87 yards on the ground. His lone touchdown put the exclamation point on the visitors' victory, walking in from 5 yards out late in the fourth quarter. The 49ers entered their bye week at 5-3, dropping to second in the NFC West.
With over 100 years as a family-owned company, EB Stone's learned a few things about making plants grow. Start a healthy family hobby with indoor planting with EB Stone's Edna's Best indoor and outdoor potting soil to help your little plants grow into the perfect indoor plant for the kids and family to enjoy. EB Stone's indoor and outdoor potting soil is perfectly blended with all the important ingredients you need to create that perfect indoor and outdoor plant or garden. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. Visit ebstone.org for more gardening tips, products, and locations near you.
Players know it's not just because you win more. It's because of everything else at Gold Country Casino Resort, where players roll in and winners are made. Winning isn't the only thing on the menu, and nightlife, it's more than entertaining. Drinks and dining options are abundant and guaranteed to satisfy your innermost desires. Come be our guests and see why Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is where the players play.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Cooler temperatures mean it's time to reduce your outdoor water use. Water 1 day per week on Saturday or Sunday from November 1st through February 29th. Learn more about your home's watering schedule at sacwaterwise.com.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Powering your afternoon. Happy Halloween. If I thought of it sooner, Kyle, I didn't think of it till, 11 o'clock this morning. I would have shown up on Halloween in a full Brock Purdy 49er uniform. And I thought of it too late. By the time I thought of it, it was too late to do anything about it. So next year, Next year I'll do it, and I'll also be able to add a Super Bowl ring to the costume.
Well, I'm glad you didn't do it, because in the final hour of our show, you would have turned it over, fumbled the bag or something. You know, it would have been an off. You know, Brock Purdy in the fourth quarter, he's just not clutch. So I'm glad you didn't show up with Brock Purdy, because that final hour would have been trash like he's been. No, I'm just.
I got you.
No, you get it. You get where I'm going.
You were
Though.
fine.
All right.
Yeah, you were fine. You were fine. Confession to make tonight. You know, my daughter's coming over with her husband with Halloween because their dog doesn't do well with people, so they bring the dog over and we turn out the lights. Whatever. Anyway, so what do we watch? It's World Series is on, but I'm not feeling the World Series, which kills me to say that. And it might be, hey, do we watch a horror movie or do we watch the World Series tonight? I've never had to ask that ever in my life.
Whitey, you're supposed to be a sports guy.
I know.
You're supposed to be dialed in.
I know.
You're supposed to be prepared when we walk in to talk all sports.
Yeah.
Not just football and basketball.
Right.
Who's playing in the World Series? No, dude, I have not watched a single pitch of the World Series. This is the most uninteresting World Series. I can't remember the last time it's been this bad. Maybe it's just me and a East Coast bias, West Coast, whatever it is. But I have no interest in these two teams.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the baseball fan in me will probably say, no, I got to watch. But yeah, it just hasn't really captured the
People
imagination.
are saying, well, but what about Bruce Bochy? You know,
Right,
Bochy.
right. I know.
Do we really want him to win somewhere other than San Francisco, though?
Yeah, I'd be
Is that
okay. I
kinda-
understand
okay,
your
all right.
point. It's a
Yeah,
great
I'm just
point.
like,
Yeah, but the Rangers.
It's
and
like
the
seeing your
Diamondbacks.
ex-wife go on and remarry and be happy. Do you really? I don't know. So I'm just saying.
like that.
You see where I'm going, though, right?
I
You
do,
see
I
where
do.
I'm going. And so Bruce is a great
Yeah, but in
guy.
this
We
case,
appreciate it.
your ex-wife, but you left her.
Right. Yeah, that's true. You done moved on.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, man. She might be the one that got away, though. You know what I mean? As Bob Melvin takes over, we're like, darn, man, where's Bruce Bochy when you need him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it kills me to say that. But this, and it was such a good baseball season. Well, we'll see. Maybe it'll be a great World Series, but it just seems like it's a little lackluster so far. Hopefully the in-season tournament, once it gets going, will be great. The commercials have been great. Jess on the chat says, how come there's no Kings in the commercial, though? That's true, right? You got Julius Randle, and you got, I think, Trae Young's in there, DeMar DeRozan, and Draymond. I don't see any Kings in there, but that's
You don't see any Kings in there?
I don't
really
think so. That's all right.
They're saving it for when they go to Vegas. You know, they'll redo the commercials. And you looking forward to it, though? It begins next week against OKC first.
I kind of am. I know we had yesterday the announcement and the graphics of what all the courts are going to look like.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're trying. To me, the three big issues with the in-season tournament. What do you think of these? I think one is player buy-in. We'll see if the players buy in. If they do, that's a huge hurdle that is overcome. Two is the fact that the format's kind of confusing. In the commercial, they say 30 teams, single elimination.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's
not single elimination. Oh, right. Why do they say that?
I don't know.
I heard that too, and I was like, it's not single elimination.
Right. It's hard enough to explain
It's
without
pool
them
play,
explaining
round
it wrong
robin, yeah.
on purpose. And then the third thing, and I saw this somewhere on some comments or something. The tournaments in soccer, they have teams from different leagues that don't normally play against each other.
Right.
And in this, it's the same teams that always play against each other. Now they're just in a tournament. So that's one of the things that I think makes this a little underwhelming, but I'm hoping it's special.
I was about to say, you're just being a hater right there. Like,
I know.
This is baby steps.
I'm trying
this is
hard
the
to like
first
this.
year of
I'm
this.
trying hard to like this.
Let me ask you this.
I want to get on board with both feet.
No, I'm 100% with you in terms of, like, when they play Oklahoma City next Friday in the first game of the in-season tournament, that game doesn't have any added meaning to me as a fan. I was already up for that game. That's,
Right.
and so.
Because it's a group game.
It's a group game.
If you lose, what happens? It depends what else happens.
We don't know. Like, the Warriors are in their pod also.
Yeah.
That was already going to be a big game. They got the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama. That was already going to be a big game. And so I don't think we'll get the feeling of a true in-season tournament until that final game when they need to beat the Warriors maybe to go to 3-1 or 4-0 and clinch a spot in Vegas.
Maybe they should have done single elimination. Do you think? Maybe 30 teams, single elimination. and get rid of the group stage. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know
see.
what they could have done. Player buy-in is going to be interesting because we've already seen players resting, sitting out, taking games off. I would imagine the NBA, if I'm correct, has rules regarding the in-season tournament. Like, ain't no load management happening in-season tournament games. That would be a bad look. And so $500,000 to some guys is a lot of money. But for your star
To the
players,
guys who don't play.
right, to the guys that don't play.
Let's go.
Exactly. The 9th,
Set a
10th,
record for
11th man,
cheering.
they're like, oh, man, the rookies are going to be playing hard, bro. They're going to be diving, crashing into the stands and everything. So player buy-in, like I said before, I don't think the first games, November, that Friday against OKC, it's not going to be any added motivation. But when they know that they have a chance to perhaps go to Vegas, I think you'll see it ratchet up over time.
Mm-hmm. As far as the World Series goes, Andrew on the chat says, haters going to hate. Been a fantastic World Series so far. I know that first game was great, but we were out at the arena Friday night. Game 1 was amazing.
Was it?
That was a 10-inning.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
walk-off. Yes.
Yeah.
And Andrew, where are you from? Andrew's either from Texas or he's from Arizona, right? Like, I didn't even know, and maybe this is, I shouldn't admit this. I didn't even know who was winning, and my problem
once
is
your Phillies were out.
Exactly. We're looking ahead to spring training, and you got Kings basketball going on, and I'm into the Niners and Eagles as well. I have no rooting interest in this World Series. And so Andrew says he's from Stockton. Okay. All right.
Baseball fans, I get it. I mean, Compio says, hey, it's been a great World Series.
Compio's cousin actually plays for the Diamondbacks. He
manages.
Right. He's a first base
Turtle
coach or something, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And Compio says, Draper, you have to cover every sport. And that's true to an extent. But are we really talking a whole lot of World Series right now? Now, if the Giants were in it, the A's were in it, I'd be dialed in. I'd be glued in.
Yeah.
But Texas, Arizona?
I don't think it's debatable. Well, how much you like it, what you think of it, whatever you think, that's what you think. But nationally, I think it's, there's not a lot of interest in this series, unfortunately. And it's too bad because baseball had kind of a comeback year this year with the new rules. A lot of them they worked.
Right.
People got a little more interested in baseball than you have this World Series. And it just seems a little anticlimactic.
No,
I'm disappointed. That's all.
No, I 100% agree with you. And I thought the baseball season was tremendous. So many storylines, so many teams vying for it at the end. I thought the playoffs were pretty good as well, especially, you had some of the upsets, Dodgers getting knocked out early, Braves getting ousted. But then it's sort of, I'm sorry, the Diamondbacks don't elicit a reaction.
They don't have a very strong
They don't have a
brand.
strong brand around the country.
I'll be watching. By the way, Compio says my cousin played for the Dodgers.
Oh, my
Davey
gosh.
Lopes. I believe him. I believe him.
You sure about that?
I'm buying it.
He's related to everybody.
Not
man.
anybody could just make that up.
Oh,
and he's got another cousin who's married to
Ray Allen's
cousin
or something.
Sorry, Compio. I know I never
Hey,
get that right.
Compio, in the chat, I want you to list all your relatives who are married to famous people or because I need to keep a running tally of all this, man. This is
You're loco, man.
When we come back, a former Niner says it's panic button time. Is he going to take his finger off the panic button now that the Niners made a big move today? That's next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles, drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet Arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. Makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason, Drive Guys, happy Halloween. It's been a scary stretch here, needless to say, for the 49ers, but they make the big move today, and they trade a conditional third-round pick to the Washington Commanders for Chase Young. Here are some numbers that suggest, this is a great trade. Young has a career-high 17.2% pressure rate, and you also have Nick Bosa posting a very high pressure rate. So the 49ers now have two of the top 5 defensive players in quarterback pressures this season. Again, that's kind of like quarterback pressure. So, it's not a sack, but that means that the pocket should be collapsing starting with the Jacksonville game, the way the 49ers expected to collapse the pocket all season long.
Why are we even in this point, though? Because this is not, here's the thing, Whitey. Chase Young, a fantastic player, phenomenal player. I think he's a tremendous talent. But this team already had tremendous talent. And so you can add whoever you want. If they don't perform to their capabilities, it's not going to matter. And so I get it. The Niners defensive line didn't get a pass rush, put pressure on the quarterback. But don't tell me that they couldn't do that. Don't tell me they didn't have the personnel to do that. And so you bring in Chase Young, sure, it's another guy. But Nick Bosa still has to be better. Hargrave still has to be better. And so to me, this was not about a talent issue. It was a lack of production issue. And so, yeah, you get deeper, you bring in more talent, and maybe Chase Young lights that fire. But if Nick Bosa doesn't start playing better, if some of these guys, it doesn't even matter. And when Chase Young comes here, if he doesn't start playing better, and so it's not a talent issue, it's a production issue, I think, with this Niners team.
And then the question becomes then, how come the production hasn't been there? I mean, Hargrave and Bosa, they've both been paid. Is that a factor? Just the human element. I'm not accusing them of dogging it or anything. Bosa, again, has a lot of numbers that suggest he's been effective. But now you got a guy in Chase Young, who has something to prove because he's in the last year of his contract. So I like that. But you're right. This has been going on since last season where, they got to get to the quarterback. That's the foundation of our success, and we haven't had as much success as we expected to. So that's not all on Steve Wilks. It becomes a little bit of a mystery. And if this doesn't address it, as we said earlier, I don't know what else
What else can you do, right? Where else can you turn?
There's no other cards to play.
Right. You done brought in tremendous talent. You got the weapons there, and it's still not happening. And everybody wants to point, Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks does not, in my opinion, impact whether Nick Bosa gets up the field and gets after the quarterback or not. And so you could talk about schemes in the secondary and in the second level and all that. Okay, we can have that discussion. But from a front four standpoint, that's on the players. That's on the players. And so I can't wait. I wish they had a game this week because you thought after the loss to the Vikings, not you personally, but, in general, we thought the loss to the Vikings was rock bottom. Like, they got to turn it around against the Bengals. And they still didn't do it. And so have they hit rock bottom now? You would hope so if you're a Niners fan.
Dante Whitner, the former 49er, who's one of your, he's like a colleague.
Yeah, he's like
right?
coworker. Yeah, kind of. I see him when I'm in the studio. Yeah.
He suggested, and this was before the trade for Chase Young, but he suggested it's time for the 49ers to hit the panic button. He didn't say, you might want to start thinking about it. He said, it is time to hit the panic button because he says, offensively, they can't run the ball. Defensively, they're just barely even there. They're not getting pressure. They're not stopping the run. And those are absolute foundations of successful 49er football, and they haven't accomplished either one. So it is, that right now they've got some real big questions, pressing questions that have to be answered starting their next game.
Yeah, and what's interesting, it's crazy to say that it's panic time when you're third in the NFL in point differential. But things were smooth sailing those first 5 weeks. Everything was going well. Now some doubt has creeped into that locker room, and they have not responded well to adversity. And so I do like what Dante said because this team isn't just playing for the playoffs. It's playing for a Super Bowl, if you will. And so if your goal is the Super Bowl and anything less is unacceptable and you lose 3 in a row, it's time that something got to change, right?
I agree.
Like, some heads got to roll or some changes need to be made. And so that's why Dante said, it's time to hit the panic button. I agree with them. But does this do it, though? Is this the move that all of a sudden puts them over the hump? Is this the move that's going to get the offense back on track from scoring 17 or more points?
It's going to help with part of it. I think Trent Williams has to get healthy, and I think Debo has to get healthy. And I know, wow, you're a genius. That's great. But I think that's the single biggest reason they haven't had success running the ball is because Trent Williams hasn't been there. So they got to get him healthy. They have to start. When they run the ball 26 times or more, they win. And
right.
They don't. And that's just because when they're playing 49er football and they have the lead, they can continue to pound the ball. And they just haven't been able to do that. And they're a different team when they have to play from behind. And it's not just Brock Purdy. And it's fair to say he hasn't proven he can come from behind. I think Shanahan's playbook, as thick as it is, there's like pages and plays for when they're behind. There's like 3 in the back.
Right. In the back.
That's it.
Like in case if everything else fails and we actually are losing.
Yeah.
And it happens, Kyle Shanahan. Like, and so
they're a whole different team.
They are a whole different team. They can't come back. And maybe, like you said, it's because of the playbook. I do want to go back to what Dante said, because I know he's hitting the panic button, but how much is the loss of Debo and, Trent Williams the cause of this? And so I know we're hitting the panic button, all is going wrong, but do you think with those guys back, they'll just get back to rolling? Or even when those guys come back, are you a little worried?
I think if Trent Williams is back and he's healthy, then I think that's going to take care of a lot of it. But, it's an ankle and he's a huge man and he's an older player. I don't know that we can assume that, he's been out a few weeks.
Right.
He'll be ready to go. I do think he's expected to start practicing. So that's good news. But that goes a long ways towards solving this. Then you also have, it's not all Steve Wilks' fault, but that they're not happy with him. So, even if Chase Young comes in and all of a sudden the pass rush is improved, you still have problems in the back end with a coordinator that apparently coaches and players are not thrilled with. Right now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. There's multiple holes with this Niners squad right now. And so we could talk about Brock Purdy. We could talk about Trent Williams, the lack of a run game, the offense not producing, the defensive line, the secondary, Steve Wilkes. Like, there's so many different areas where blame can be laid. And so while the Chase Young move addresses the defensive line, maybe it helps your secondary as well. I still think there are a number of holes with this team, and they got 3 of their next 4 games are on the road, and they're against the road games: Jacksonville, Seattle, and Philly. That's a tough stretch. And then you throw in Tampa Bay at home right there. And so you're digesting what I just told you. We got this, right? Right. I mean, I can make the argument that their season, these next 4 to 5 weeks, once they get back out there, these next 4 or 5 games will determine they could go on the road in the playoffs and win. They could become a wild card team and win, but their road becomes that much more difficult. Think about it. The Lions play in a terrible division. Kirk Cousins is out, so now Minnesota. No, right? You don't like the truth. You can't handle the truth, Whitey. Niners fans cannot handle the truth right now.
That's too much truth on top of truth, and you keep piling on the truth.
All right, so let me give you reason for optimism. How about that? Let me give you reason for optimism.
Can you hang on to that with us? Can we get a caller real quick?
Is this guy going to agree with what I said?
Not sure.
Okay,
I don't know.
Let's hear it.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Joe joining us here, Sactown Sports. Hey, Joe, you're on the drive, guys. How are you?
Hey, thanks, guys, for having me on. And I can't believe I'm about to go ahead and agree with the East Coast guy.
Joe!
Tell me, Joe, what you got, baby?
I'm a diehard Niner fan, diehard, okay? So don't think that I'm anywhere on your side of the Eagle side or anything. But if you have the tools, all the tools, and you don't know how to use them, I'm nervous. Because what's the difference between last year and this year? We were dominant defense last year, and this year we're like mid to okay. and I'll tell you where I lost my enthusiasm for the defense. You can't allow the worst rushing team in Minnesota to rush on you. That should have been personal right there. So,
Joe, are you wearing an Eagles jersey right now? Be honest.
Oh, heck no.
No, Joe's the kind of Niners fan I like. He's objective. He's calling it like he sees it.
He's losing his faith in his team.
No, because this is everybody, Joe. No, everybody want to talk about Steve Wilkes and everything like that. Nick Bosa has to be better. Where's Javon Hargrave been all season long? His name hasn't been mentioned all freaking season long. The guy's got to step up.
He does.
You can bring in all the weapons you want. If they don't perform, it's sort of like, remember the Lakers when they went out there and got Karl Malone and Gary Payton? It was a great team. The Rockets when they got Scottie Pippen and Charles Barkley. So what? You got all the pieces. If those guys don't perform, it won't matter, Joe.
Joe, are you close to the panic button? Do you think it's panic time as a 49er fan?
No, because if history has anything to do with it, anytime after the Niners had a bye weekend, they took off from there. So hopefully, that's on our side.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate
Great
the call,
Joe. That's a great call.
Don't lose your faith. Hang in there, Joe. Things are looking up. Chase Young leading the Niners back.
Chase Young's the answer to everything. We need more calls like that. 916-339-1140. I could take those calls all day long.
Yes, we'll get to your calls. Also, Kyle, with some words of optimism, you promised?
Yeah, I got something for you.
That's when we come right back. It's a Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He stopped the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants to polos and khakis to Oxfords or t-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like. You convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hey, you. The one on the couch who just told your friend you can't go out because you're busy? Ready to get real about your psoriasis? When your current treatments don't do enough to help control the inflammation beneath the skin, causing plaques and pain, stressing and scratching, it's time to stop hiding and get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Live and local. Every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Well, this ought to be good. Kyle Draper promising some words of optimism. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We've got the hitman himself, Dante Whitner, on NBC Sports Bay Area saying, it's panic button time. That was before the trade for Chase Young. So some Niner fans, we're hearing from Niner fans who are maybe struggling a little bit with their faith. This is natural. It happens when your team's struggling. But Kyle Draper, who, make no mistake, delights in your misery. If you're a 49er fan, this man delights in your misery. And yet he says he has some words of optimism.
Do you really? First of all, I don't delight in anybody's misery. I just want Niners fans to wake up with a dose of reality. Like, they were already getting fitted for a Super Bowl ring 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hold on, pump the brakes. Let's see it all play out. But, when I look at this Niners team, I do think Kyle Shanahan's a good coach. I do think Brock Purdy is actually a good quarterback. And the fact that Debo and Trent Williams, the injuries happened early, we fully expect them to be back, hopefully after the bye week. Like, there's no reason why this team should not return to what they were the first 5 weeks of the season. And so I think right now their confidence is shot a little bit. I think, the loss of, injuries have hurt them. I also think when you look at what the Niners have done the last 3 games, teams are really keen on CMC. And you're able to do that because you don't have Debo Samuel. Like, if you got Debo Samuel and you're, putting 5 men on the line, I think Cincinnati was doing that a lot. Yep. They had 5 down linemen going again. Like, then that's single coverage everywhere else. And so I think, with Debo coming back, there's no reason to be concerned that he won't be back, sometime soon. And so there is a reason for optimism. And I've said it before, Niners fans, and I'll say it when it comes to your squad as well. You don't win or lose the Super Bowl in October. Now, if this was just late December and they're having these issues, January, something like that, I'd hit the panic button. But in terms of, accomplishing your goals, you still got plenty of time to do that. Let's it's just a rough stretch. You come back out, you beat Jacksonville. Now you're 6-3. All is good.
I'm trying to see if he's going to.
You see how hard that was for me? That was very difficult.
Yeah, and I know what the hardest part was. Brock Purdy's a good quarterback.
No, he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a middle of the pack.
Your forehead started to break out in a sweat.
He is a Jared Goff-esque before this season. Goff has proven himself. He's a middle of the pack, 14, 15, 6, Kirk Cousins, level quarterback.
We'll just move on. I'm sure we're going to revisit all that. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Zach joins us. Happy Halloween, Zach. You're on the drive, guys. What's up?
How you doing, guys?
Good.
What's up, Zach?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch base on this. I mean, it's Brock Purdy is no superhuman. Okay, he is a good quarterback at best. Okay, now I'm a diehard 49er fan my whole life. We all knew what was going to happen if we lost a piece of the offensive line coming into the season. It's shown with Trent Williams going out. We know what would happen if we lose Debo. Everybody's going to key in on CMC. But the one thing that stands out to me is Steve Wilkes. You look at him on the sideline, they're showing the game, he's up in the booth, he looks like he's about to fall asleep. Nico Ryan and Robert.
Come on, Zach.
I'm gonna let you go just because we're having a little bit of an issue with your phone. You made your point, and so I'm gonna let you go because there's a weird. It sounds like you're on the Golden Gate Bridge or something. Which
or as Russell said, Zach calling on his mobile toaster.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So. Yeah, it's not because we didn't like what you said. It's just kind of.
I think he's hauling potatoes from Stockton to Poplarville. Like he's driving a big rig, man. That's not a regular car.
Good for him. He made his point, and a lot of people agree with that. But Steve Wilkes looks like he's fallen asleep up there.
Nah, but
no wonder they're not getting pressure on the quarterback.
I don't think. Do you think that makes a difference? I don't think moving Steve Wilkes down to the field makes a difference.
You know how much difference it makes?
How much?
None.
Exactly. Zero. We're like, oh, you're going to move down onto the field. D'Amico Ryans used to be on the field.
Robert Saleh was on there, and he used to get really excited.
But Steve Wilkes, this is how he does it. It's a great way to see all 22 as well. And so I don't think that makes a difference.
I do think, though, that there was a connection between Saleh and his defense and D'Amico and this defense that's not there with Wilkes.
Why do you think that is, though?
Part of it is he was an outsider. He came from outside the organization.
Outside.
I think he's a little bit older.
Maybe he has to earn his, you know, they have to, you know, it goes back. I hate to constantly make basketball references, but it goes like when Mike Brown comes into Sacramento. If they don't have that 7-game winning streak, maybe the players start to doubt what Mike is preaching. And so what we need to see from Steve Wilkes, what he needs right now is a good 3 to 4 game stretch where his game plan works, and then the players start buying in after that.
But if that's a problem, bringing in the outsider, well, he didn't hire himself. That's not his fault.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. It's not his fault. Yeah.
Doug joins us here, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Hello, Doug. How are you?
Gentlemen, how are you?
Good. Happy Halloween.
What's up now?
At least you guys aren't falling asleep. Yeah.
What you got, Doug?
Hey, mine is more in the strategy end of what's happened after the first 5 games. We played teams that were good teams, but our talent-wise was that much better. And then those last 3, even though a couple of them were close, we could have won. Teams are preparing for the Niners very well. And I think by coming in with that 5 guys on the line and say, you know what, we're going to test that young guy and see if he can throw the ball under pressure. Because they know if they've got 5, he's not going to have a lot of time. Let's see what kind of mistakes that he makes. Also, he's a timing route guy. So they show him throwing the ball before the guy makes his cut. If you're off a little bit, it's a pick. So I think these other teams have prepared very well for the Niners, and the war strategy that I like to compare it to as in professional sports and is in football, it's like playing chess. You make a move, they counter you move. You counter their counter until somebody waves the white flag and the game's over. And I think that the teams have really figured out the Niners well, and then it comes down to you have to be more creative and be able to execute and come up with different. If you end up being predictable, you're going to get ran over. That's all I have. I love your show.
Thank you, Doug. I agree with you, especially the part about Purdy, because the way things are going now where they're not running the ball and teams are loading the box, knowing that it's not just that they're stopping McCaffrey. It's like you can't block for him anyway without Trent Williams. So his margin for error is shrinking. Purdy, and he threw for a lot of yards last week, and I think against Minnesota, until he made those big mistakes, he was playing well. But it's like he's gonna make mistakes because he can't walk that tightrope that he's walking right now for a whole. He's not good enough to do that, where he has to constantly come from behind and throw for 360 yards and then throw 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns.
Right. It's different when you're playing from behind because more is on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, when you have a lead, you're up 14-0.
One bad throw kills you.
Yeah, one bad throw kills you when you're trying to mount a comeback. But when you're up 10-0, when you're up 14-0, first of all, the whole playbook you can use. You could do anything you want out there. When you're behind, you don't run as much like we've seen the last 3 weeks. CMC's not getting as many carries, and it's on your quarterback to make better throws and make clutch throws. When you're ahead, you know what? It's free. It's easy. You don't feel as much pressure.
Right? As a playmaker, we're ahead. You're setting the terms.
Yes.
And then when you're behind, it's like, well, our options are very limited here.
Yes. And one thing I've seen over the last 3 weeks is the opposing defenses, they get stronger as the game goes on. Like you can physically see like sort of their belief, like, oh my gosh, we can win this game. And then they become hungrier. And then the defense starts pinning back its ears. They start teeing off on you. And so you can see that. And so that momentum is a real thing, I think, in these Niners games.
Let's go to Henry, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Henry, you're on the drive, guys. What's up?
I hear you guys talking about what's the difference. I think Debo is the big difference. Jennings and Ray, where are they at? Where are they at? They're supposed to be backing up, coming the next guy up. You don't see nothing at a Ray. You don't see nothing at a Jennings. So now you see that Debo is the big difference. Double coverage, everything's different. He can be a running back, slot receiver, or receiver. He can do everything for them. Ray and Jennings, they disappeared. So how's Purdy supposed to find another receiver? That's all he has. IU, Kittle, and CMC.
Thank you, Henry. Yeah, appreciate the call. I feel like I talked to Henry the last time I ordered a shake at Jack in the Box.
What is going? This is 2023.
Henry, but his
dude.
Quality.
he got the Apple One, like the iPhone 1 or something. Like, what's going on with the cell reception around town nowadays?
Some,
My God,
difficulty hearing all of the fine points that all of our fine listeners are making. But thank you, Henry.
But
he's with you on the receivers.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. How many receivers do they have? Not how many people that can catch the ball. Right now, how many quality receivers does Brock Purdy have to throw to week in and week out these last couple weeks?
He has like 2.6 maybe.
And I'm not including Kittle. I'm not including CMC.
Wide receivers. So you got
to me they got
Jennings
one,
and you got Ayuk.
That doesn't move the Ayuk is the guy. But after that, it's a severe drop-off. And that's why I thought, go out there and get a veteran wide receiver. I don't know who it is. But the way the Eagles got Julio Jones, and I know Julio's about 47 years old. I get that. But at least they got some depth at wide receiver.
First time you mentioned Julio Jones, like, okay. But you keep going back to that. Like you said, the guy's 70 years old. Has he caught how many passes has he caught this year?
It doesn't matter, though. But he's a veteran wide receiver that in a pinch can help you out. They don't have guys that can step up at the wide receiver position.
Maybe there's good news. Maybe that's a reflection of them knowing that Debo's going to be okay. I don't know. Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. I'll make an assumption there.
They need him.
Yeah.
Like, before all this happened, I always thought CMC was the most important. Now we're seeing how important Trent Williams is. We already knew that. But now we're seeing how important Debo Samuel is to this offense.
When we come back, what happened to the 49ers? An opponent says they brought this on themselves. You can hear him say that when we come right back with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
If you finally decided it's time to purchase a new Mercedes-Benz, the family owners of Mercedes-Benz of Stockton are offering select vehicles like the Mercedes-Benz C and E-Class sedans and the all-electric vehicles at 3.99% APR for up to 72 months for qualified buyers. Your new Mercedes awaits you just 45 minutes from Sacramento, right off I-5. See why we make buying the finest car in the world a special event you'll never forget. Welcome to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, mbofstockton.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers, spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916 Sactown Sports.
Yeah, lots of football to talk about today, but don't forget, coming up at, 4:15, Kyle's new broadcast partner, Mike Bibby's going to join us. He's a brand new analyst on Kings Telecast on NBC Sports California, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be great to have, and a guy that's connected, obviously, to the organization, to the great days of the organization, the winning years, and I'm excited to have him on board, and I'll tell some Mike Bibby stories coming up in just a little bit because I don't know Mike that well, but I'm starting to know him a little bit more. So.
Made one of the biggest shots in Sacramento Kings
Was that game
history.
5? Which game was that?
Yeah.
Yes, game 5, I do believe it was. Yeah, the mid-range jumper. He knocked it down. Yeah, and so we'll ask him about that too, and get into some other things, the current state of the Kings as well.
I remember he and Webb were on, the Kings were so popular back then, they were on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, both of them.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And I think it was during that series.
Yeah.
Or right after that series. Yeah, the two. Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine Fox and Sabonis now? And that's pretty cool.
Or something,
You're right.
but
That would be
that's how
sweet.
big they were. As far as the 49ers go, interesting comments here from some of the smartest listeners in radio. Get him in says Browns and Bengals both came off bye weeks. And Andrew says Bengals also needed that win more than the Niners did. Burrow came ready to play. Yeah, well, that especially resonates given that after watching the game film, Kyle Shanahan said, we looked old and slow. So maybe the Bengals did just bring a lot more energy than the 49ers were able to on Sunday.
And maybe that's the case. If so, come on, Niners. Like, you got the bye week, then you got, 9 more games to go. And so is that going to be an issue? And I will say, and I'm looking at the chat and I'm seeing what people are saying, when you look at this Niners schedule, and maybe this is me being that East Coast bias, they win at Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett. Yeah. They beat the Rams. Stafford's a good quarterback. The Giants, Dan Jones. Arizona, Dobbs. Dak Prescott, Dallas. But now, Cleveland, their great defense. At Minnesota, Kirk Cousins picks you apart. Joe Burrow picks you apart. So maybe that 5-0 start, and I said it back then, wasn't a true test. Now they're being tested. The Bengals are a good team. I know they were off to a slow start, but they're a good team. Minnesota,
I don't know what happened. I'm not going to say Minnesota was a good team. I'm not even going to say Cleveland was a good team, even though we saw just what happened this past week. Their defense is always putting them in the game. And so I wonder, what's the real version of the Niners? Is it the team that was 5-0, the team that's 0-3, or somewhere in between?
You may be right. Where I might push back on what you said is with the Dallas win, because they just destroyed them. But speaking of Dallas, we know that the 49ers were feeling themselves a little bit after that win. And Micah Parsons, remember he was offended that George Kittle wore the T-shirt after Dallas. Micah Parsons on his podcast says what happened to the Niners is they were humbled because this game has a way of humbling you. Sorry. Do we have Micah Parsons here? Here's Micah Parsons.
It's always a rise and a fall in the NFL, right? At one point, you're always going to be on top of the mountain. Football has a funny way of keeping people humble, right? And I'm not saying this is example for San Francisco. Everyone has to deal with these things in the NFL versus his injuries, versus his adversity. I mean, I don't even think the Dallas Cowboys could survive 3 straight losses. It's not so much as it's Purdy, because a lot of people are saying it's Purdy. And it's always easy to blame the quarterback, because when they were winning, it was always Purdy's the greatest. I just think San Francisco had to turn it around. They're battling adversity. I definitely think the 49ers will bounce back. They're a great team. I don't think we should bury them for their 3 straight losses. I think the 49ers humbled us, and I just think life humbled them.
Huh. That's interesting. For a guy in the Cowboys say, I think they'll bounce back.
Like, I don't.
Everything said about Purdy, by the way, is accurate. It's not Purdy's fault. He's great. Micah Parsons obviously knows what he's talking about. But that was a little confusing, but ultimately interesting to me.
No, it is interesting on a number of levels. First, let me dive into what he actually said. He's 100% right. The Niners will bounce back. They're hitting some adversity right now. But he also said Brock Purdy, when he was winning, everybody was like, he's so great. Now they're losing. They're jumping off the bandwagon and saying, see, and it's somewhere in the middle. And like I said before, somewhere they're between 5-0 and 0-3. They're not as good as we thought they were at 5-0, and they're not as bad as we seem to think they are right now. And so I think there's plenty of time left for the Niners. And so give Michael Parsons. I agree 100% with what Michael Parsons said. There's still a lot of we're not even really halfway through the season. Technically, I know we're 8 games in, 9 games left to go. So there's plenty of time for this team to turn it around.
So do you think that they did get a little too high and celebrate too much over beating the Cowboys?
Yeah, I think, they got humbled a little bit. That's 100% for sure. Obviously the fan base was feeling good, excited and everything like that. But George Kittle, doing what he did, it's, and it just rubbed me the wrong way, the way he celebrated that. And they got humbled. Cleveland punched them in the mouth, and, now they're still down on the mat. And so they have to figure out a way to reverse this. That game against Jacksonville is going to be a tough game. On the road, across the country, early start. That's going to be a tough game, but there's tons of football left to be played.
The thing that hurts looking back on the Dallas game and the way the team reacted is you would think a team like the 49ers that has come close but hasn't quite won it all yet would recognize that, hey, that's a big win, but we still have so much work left, that they would have been smart enough not to get carried away with a win over stinking Cowboys.
Right.
Early in the season like that.
They're a veteran team. They got some veteran leadership on this team.
Than that.
Right. They should be smarter than that. But, to that point, the Cowboys came off a 38-3 drubbing of the Patriots. So they were feeling good about themselves. Like Michael Parsons said, they were humbled by the Niners. So the Niners get up for that game. Obviously, it's against a rival. The Cowboys are talking some trash that week. So the Niners get up for that game, and then they're fired up, and then they lay the wood down, lay the smack down. Then you face a Cleveland team with no Deshaun Watson, no Nick Chubb. And you go from this emotional high of kicking butt to now you got to go play in soggy, dreary Cleveland against the Browns team. And so they didn't get up for that game.
Classic trap game.
But the problem is momentum can be a positive or a negative. And now we're seeing a negative momentum. We saw the positive momentum. They were steamrolling teams for 5 games. Now they have to figure out how to turn around that negative momentum that they're having.
What's discouraging from the 49ers standpoint has to be this. Okay, as you say, you go into Cleveland, you had a couple guys get hurt, your kicker misses a couple kicks, the quarterback had, to that point, his worst game was like, was a perfect storm. We lost that game. Imperfect storm, if you will. You lose that game. Wow, that happens. That stinks. But then you go to Minnesota. Well, it's a Monday night game. And again, you're shorthanded. McCaffrey played. But Purdy throws the 2 interceptions. Well, it's a road game. Get that out of your system. Then you come home to play the Bengals, and you got whooped. There's no, we didn't do this. Right. You just got flat out beaten by a better team.
And the Bengals moved the ball up and down the field. Like the Bengals offense was never really challenged. I think they had that one play, one punt in the third quarter. That was their first punt. The Bengals moved the ball up and down. And so what do? We talked about bringing in Chase Young. You can have all the talent in the world, but if the guys aren't producing. And so this bye week, if I'm Kyle Shanahan, this is a reset. This is I'm hard on these guys next week in practice. This is no kid gloves. Take it easy on them. Like, this is sort of Mike Brown in preseason, Mike Brown in training camp. What you've done in the past means nothing. It's winning time now. It's time to make that push towards the Super Bowl. And so there's time for this Niners team. But if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm hard on the guys next week.
I think the answer is simple, but it's not easy. It's not complicated. It's simple, but it's not easy. And it's simple in that we have to start running the ball effectively, and we got to get pressure on the quarterback. Those are 2 simple things that everyone knows you have to do in football. They're absolutely imperative for the 49ers to have success because everything's built on that. They haven't been able to do that. And then a lot of other things start going wrong. So they have to start being able to run the ball. If Trent Williams is back, maybe they can do that. Maybe you saw the stories that some of the players were wondering why they had some success. So the first play, they ran their bread and butter, the zone stretch, 8 yards. Then they ran it like maybe one more time. And even the players are going, why don't we run that more?
Yeah.
Because the coach doesn't have faith that you can move the ball and you're behind. So those are the 2 things that they have to start doing. That's where it starts to turn around. So again, like I said, it's simple, but it's not easy.
It's not easy to do. Like, we all know the issues.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan, they all know what's wrong. We got to get pressure on the quarterback. We got to run the ball better. We got to stop the run. But how do you do that? That's the question. Like, is it scheme? Is it effort? I mean, we talk about pass rush. They've been gashed running the ball too. Like, we've seen Cleveland run over them. We've seen Cincinnati this past week run over them as well. And so that's an issue.
And Minnesota and Cleveland, excuse me, but to your point, they're not teams that are very good at running the ball.
Right, exactly. And so I don't know how they fix it, man. And Kyle Shanahan said the answers are in this building. Well, clearly not. If you go out there and get Chase Young, you need some help that you brought in.
So I think it's a good move. I mean, considering what they needed, he addresses a need. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it's enough, but it's a step in the right direction. Coming up next on this Halloween, you watched the Raiders last night, right? Which NFL team would be the best subject of a horror film? Drive Guys tackle that as we carry on here on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay mainly clear with light winds through the night tonight. A very mild evening for Halloween. Nice day tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies with highs in the mid-70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Winter's coming, so let's kick off the cold season right and get your heater all tuned up. Now just $79. No matter how cold it gets outside, you'll always be warm and toasty inside. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
It's the model year-end sales event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Either.
Did you didn't like the helmets or anything?
I kind of like the helmets. And remember I said yesterday, I think they're wearing some weird blue thing.
Yeah.
And then all gray. I don't know. I like the helmets. I'd like a little more contrast in the uniforms, but hey, who cares about that? The Raiders right now are terrible.
Did you see Devontae Adams too? He's going off on the side, slamming his helmet, and rightfully so. And when I watch Jimmy Garoppolo, and I've been a Jimmy G guy. I actually think he's a talented player.
I gotta watch you and see.
No, I'm not.
If you mean that.
No, I like Jimmy G. I was out there in New England when he was there. He was supposed to be the next thing. I think what we're seeing from Jimmy Garoppolo, 10 of 21, 126 yards, 1 pick, 46.9 rating. He looks like a guy that's too cool for school. Like, he's got his money. He's getting paid. Like, he's just throwing it up. I mean, it's like, and there's no repercussions. I mean, obviously he lost the job here in San Francisco, but then the Raiders, pay him some money. Come on, sign with us. And so he just looked like he's mailing it in right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think winning is his top priority anymore.
Really?
Yeah. It just, some of them throws, I
know. When he was here, he played through some really tough injuries. Yeah. That's one of the things that you like in your quarterback. There were games when with a broken thumb, he had basically the same thing Sabonis had, and he played quarterback through that.
Yeah.
Shoulder issues. So to me, he always, maybe sometimes when he shouldn't have, but if he could play, he did play. I think he was hurt so much with the 49ers. I mean, the knee and the surgery and the thumb and the shoulder. I think all those things took a toll. He was never the most gifted physical quarterback. Yeah. And I think some of those gifts were robbed of him, the ones he did have through injury. And right now, I think
he's just not the same. He's not what he was.
And mentally, I don't think he really knows what they're doing.
Mm.
And I don't know if their coach knows what they're doing either.
Yeah. And with what was it? 4th and something at your own 49.
midfield and you go for it. And I'm sitting there thinking, is Josh McDaniels trying to get fired? Like with seriously, I literally thought that. It's like your offense hasn't been doing anything. And I forget the down. It was 4th down, and I forget how far. I think it was 4th and 1, and they lined up Jimmy in shotgun formation, and it's like, dude, hand the ball off. You got Josh Jacobs right there. What are you doing? And so it's like he's trying to get fired almost, it feels like. And they're a dumpster fire. That was a big game for them because they went into that game 3-4. You win that, you're 4-4. You're still relatively in the mix.
You're doing okay.
Right. If you're square, okay, we're still in this. Now it's like Devontae Adams is chirping. He's upset. He's frustrated. Garoppolo looks terrible. Coaching staff.
I don't think the fan base is very happy either. I get that sense. How about you?
Why would they? Why would they be happy with, and have you been to a Raiders game down there?
I have
not.
Have
you been to that stadium?
I have not.
That stadium is not. I've been to that stadium. I haven't been to a Raiders game. It's a party. It's a scene down there. But you got a ton of other fans that come there as well. And so I don't know if the Raiders fan base is really built into Las Vegas yet, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. And so something got to change, man. I mean, people were calling for McDaniels to be fired at halftime last night. It was that bad.
I'm with you on Jimmy G. I've always been, for what it's worth, a Jimmy G guy as well. The thing that was just so maddening in San Francisco, in addition to the injuries, was that he would be playing really well. Then all of a sudden, one of those throws would come out of nowhere where you wondered, what in the world was he looking at there? And you'd get those every so often. And I think now, without the insulation of the 49ers system between Jimmy and those throws, now it's like they happen more often.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he just figures, we don't know what we're doing. I'm going to have to take more chances, but it's a bad combination right now.
And I don't, Jimmy Garoppolo to me right now is sort of the reverse of Brock Purdy. And this isn't a Brock Purdy discussion or a knock, but Brock Purdy is performing well with weapons. Jimmy has weapons on this Raiders team. Like Devontae's a number one receiver. I actually like Jacoby Myers.
Josh Jacobs
is a hell of a running back. So it's not for a lack of weapons or anything like that. It's like if they had Josh Allen or something, like they would be a contender. They would be a playoff contender. And I know they went out there and got Jimmy, and, McDaniels from his New England days thought, he's my guy. We can recreate this and everything like that. But I don't think Jimmy's the answer there either.
I know some people have said, look, the way Jimmy's played, that proves that it's the system, that the system buoyed him last year. But to me, that I don't agree with that, because to me, there's been a huge
drop off. Yeah.
I think it's more than not being in Kyle Shanahan's system.
Right. And to your point, maybe it's all the injuries. Maybe it's mentally and emotionally. Like, this dude's been beat up. He was supposed to be the next thing in New England. Tom Brady just says, you know what, I'm going to keep on playing. So then, the Niners trade for him, off to a great start. Then Kyle Shanahan.
He won a Super Bowl.
I know. Then he gets hurt. Kyle Shanahan loses faith in him. He loses his spot. And then he comes to the Raiders. And so I think that's why I said, this is not the same Jimmy G we saw, 4 or 5 years ago when he came here to San Francisco. This is a battered, bruised, and beaten Jimmy G who almost seems like he's lost some fight.
Yeah.
Like he's just not the same guy. And I don't know if he'll ever be able to get that back, because talent is not an issue. For Adams to get one catch, like, come on. Like, this is a top 5 wide receiver in the league, and he gets one reception yesterday. And so you can't blame it on talent. Maybe it's the coaching, but Jimmy G has regressed.
So if there was going to be a Halloween movie or a horror movie about a football team this year, are the Raiders the team? I threw this out on Twitter. The Bears got some run, of course. The Raiders and some, I think someone even mentioned the 49ers, and that's valid the way things are going right now. But, I got to give the Jets credit, because their season started out like a horror film, right?
Yeah.
Everything was rosy and the outlook was great. And then, 3 plays in or whatever it was, snap.
Yeah.
There goes Aaron Rodgers. And they're hanging in there. They're not the most fun team to watch, but they're hanging in there. I got to give them credit.
No, you got to give them. They've won 3 in a row, and they're right back in the mix at 4-3. And, Zach Wilson is doing just enough to get the wins. And, from a horror standpoint, I could say Green Bay. Can we throw Green Bay in that mix?
Ooh,
they are just horrible to watch. They're 2-5. They've lost 4 games in a row. The Arizona Cardinals, they're a horror show, but we knew that going in. We knew what we were paying for.
Yeah.
We knew what we were getting with those guys.
In a sequel, it's I already know what
right.
the monster
It's
looks
like
I'm not scared anymore.
Saw 15 or whatever they're on right now. They're making a new one I saw too, like a new Saw movie. Which is crazy. But no, it's a horror show. And Green Bay, who they just lose to at home. They just lost. I'm drawing a blank. They never lose. Used to lose at Lambeau. That used to be one of the best home field advantages. Oh, they lost at home to the Vikings. And that's a rivalry game. And the Vikings used to never be able to go in there to Lambeau and get a win. And so I would put Green Bay up there when it comes to our horror show.
New England has been a bit of a horror show, and also because they're haunted by the ghost of Brady. Did you see the talk? And it's really just somebody saying, hey, maybe this could happen, that the Vikings could reach out to Tom Brady. I know.
No way.
Yeah. Well, really, I think it's literally just some writer going, that would be something.
Right.
And then other people going, yeah, that would be cool. There's nothing to it. Tom Brady on his podcast didn't even address it.
Zero.
So then some are saying, oh, he didn't say he wouldn't do it because his mom's from Minnesota. People it's such a stretch. Right. But I don't think that's happening now, especially now because the Vikings today acquired their quarterback of the future, Josh Dobbs.
You said that with a straight face. I like Josh Dobbs, but I don't think he's the quarterback of the future.
Quarterback of the present.
Of the present, right, the rest of the season. The quarterback of right now, if you will. And so, no, I like that move, It's funny. I follow some people who live in Minnesota, and they're like, oh, we love this move, man. This is a perfect move for N. I'm like, this isn't going, all of a sudden you're not going to be a playoff team because Josh Dobbs. If I'm Minnesota, I'm tanking. Mm-hmm. I'm punting on this season. Jefferson, he's still out.
I was going to say in that division, obviously Detroit's having a good year, but you're 4-4.
Nah, but you
hang in there. You might as well hang in there. I'll tell you what, for sheer horror this year, don't sleep on the New York Football Giants.
Yes.
That's been a disaster.
That you're 100% right about that. Daniel Jones is out. The whole Saquon thing to start the season. They've only scored 95 points. Let me look at this. Oh my gosh. They're the worst offensive team in the league by far. And now Dan Jones is out. And who's their backup? Jacoby Brissett? Is it?
No, it's Tyrod Taylor.
No, Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, Tyrod Taylor. And so, no, they're a horror show.
He got hurt, and they got the guy. Oh, I apologize. Everyone's screaming his name right now. The guy that, his stats. Did you see this? ESPN has the box score. And for his name, because they didn't know who this guy was, it said unknown player.
No way. On the screen?
The ESPN box score.
Tommy DeVito?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Because
not Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito.
And thank you, everybody. On the chat. But on the ESPN box score, it's like unknown player. And I don't think he completed a pass.
Wow. They actually had that on the screen.
Yes.
That's embarrassing.
Yes.
That's embarrassing. No, so that's a horror show as well. They're a horror. Yes.
Yeah. What's the scariest movie you ever saw?
Dude, we talked about this.
We did, huh?
Extro, XTRO. I need to know, anybody out there, I know my YouTube chatters, they're chiming in. Has anybody ever seen the movie Extro? I might watch it tonight. Halloween night, I might check it out tonight. Ran out of the theater. I was 10 years old, something like that. It was too scary to finish.
Coming up next, let us know if you've seen Extro.
Extro, yes.
Yeah. The search for people who've seen Extra and survived it continues. Also, what stands out from the first week of the NBA season. And Mike Bibby's going to join us at 4:15. That more coming up with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open. Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
the defense lead this squad again.
Intercepted. Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner.
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium. Then again, next year you get the latest iPhone. Every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slowed. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from this station's network.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Yeah, we got your headlines right here in this Halloween. Chase Young is now a San Francisco 49er, and all he cost the Niners was a third-round pick, a third-round conditional pick, right, Kyle?
Yeah, this is a great move for John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. You know, you have an opportunity to bring in a former number 2 overall pick who's 24 years old, complete stud, 5 sacks this season in, 7 games. And so, you know, the Niners are at a point, sure, they have holes to fill, but as a fan, I never would, say, oh, why'd you go out and get this guy? Like, you get as much talent as you can if you're the Niners. And John Lynch and those guys, they see an opportunity here. They brought in Randy Gregory. It was an issue, obviously, the defensive line. Now you add Chase Young. And so I'm all for ownership, management, going out there, whatever you think you need to win, go get it. And that's what the Niners are doing.
Another headline, Adolis Garcia, the Rangers right fielder, absent from the lineup for Game 4 of the World Series one day after tweaking his left side on a swing. For those of you still following this World Series, which a lot of people say, hey, it's been a great World Series so far. And Mike Bibby is the newest analyst of the newest member of the Kings broadcast crew. And Mike Bibby is going to join us at 4:15. And Kyle just checked in with him, and I guess it's a good thing you did.
Yeah, Mike Bibby, he was golfing today, he told me, and I just texted him. I'm like, Mike, 15 minutes, bro. You got to be ready. He's like, oh, man, I'm glad you texted me. I was about to take a nap. You know how it is when you play golf, 18 holes, in my case, 120 swings at it, like that takes a lot out of you, And so we're going to catch Mike Bibby before he takes his nap today.
On the chat here, YouTube chat, Amadrock says, Extro is a cautionary tale about what may happen if Daddy was kidnapped by aliens and then 3 years later he returns. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. That's exactly when I looked it up, and because I had forgot what it was. Remember, I left early before they even got deep into the plot, and so doesn't that sound scary?
It
right?
does. It sounds.
Daddy gets taken by aliens, then he comes back 3 years later. Like
very creepy.
That's creepy. That might be something I'll watch today.
Me's on the text line 339-1140 1-800-920-1140 says, Whitey, NFL horror movie is obviously about my Denver Broncos. Me's, we forgot about that. You're right. He says that the terror has been unlimited.
That's true, but they got a big win this past week. That's why I didn't include them, because they got that big win over Kansas City this last week.
That's right.
They did. We forgot about that, right?
It has been
signature
quite a year
win for them.
Yeah. Before we bring in Mike Bibby, what kind of year, it's been, a week, have we seen here in the NBA so far? I'll tell you what, with the Warriors getting ready to play, or the Kings playing the Warriors tomorrow night, I'm a little concerned about what's going on there with Golden State. CP3 coming off the bench, and it looks like that's working out well, Kyle. And I was assuming that would not work out.
No, CP3 is swallowing his pride, right? He's being a professional. And the one thing missing from his resume is a championship ring. And so that's why he's doing it. I get it. And here they are, 5 games in. They look much better than I expected. And it's actually scary. If you're a Kings fan, I'm afraid of the Warriors because they really haven't played great. Like, they haven't played their best ball. Draymond's just getting back into the mix. Wiggins hasn't really played his best. So this Warriors team has a different level, another level to go to, which is scary. But go ahead. Let them play great right now in October. Play great in November. Steph can't keep this up, can he? He can't
think so.
Like, he's at an age now. He's had some injury history as well. CP3's old, Draymond. And so they're going full bore right now, and they're playing great. I don't know, in January and February, can they be playing at this high level?
Yeah, Steph Curry, 42 points in 30 minutes Monday night, second of a back-to-back. So in the West so far, we got, it's early, but Denver 4-0, Dallas 3-0, Warriors 3-1, and OKC 3-1. So that's a little daunting from the Kings' perspective.
Yeah, and especially when you don't have your leader, De'Aaron Fox, coming up here at least tomorrow, and we presume it's going to be at least a week. And so when you look at it, I think the team that's most surprising, the Dallas Mavericks, right?
Yeah.
Like, we thought they would be a dumpster fire.
Your buddy Hollinger liked them, I think.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, we may have to get Hollinger on.
We're trying.
But they haven't beaten anybody. They beat the Grizzlies. Grizzlies are winless still, believe it or not. They're one of the winless teams. The Nets. That's okay, and they beat the Spurs as well. And so they're doing well, but I'm still not buying on Dallas. But I think they're one of the most surprised teams so far that we've seen.
And we talked a little bit earlier about the James Harden deal. That's the big topic today in the NBA. So if I'm a Kings fan, Kyle, should I be, oh no, James Harden's going to the Clippers. Oh no, I'm scared.
No, not at all. And James Harden is a tremendous talent. He is a 20-10 guy last season. If I'm correct, he led the NBA in assists, or second, I think, maybe to Tyrese last season. Tremendous talent, but he doesn't fit what the Clippers are. The Clippers are best when Paul George he needs the ball in his hand. Paul George's not just going to be standing over in the corner. Kawhi Leonard, he needs to get into his bag as well. What are you going to do with Russell Westbrook? Are you going to start him? James Harden and Russell Westbrook in the starting lineup together? If this was 2015, it'd be awesome. It'd be amazing. But here we are in 2023. And so if I'm the Kings, I'm not worried about the Clippers any more today than I was the day before. Ultimately, it's still going to come down to Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and their health.
It seems like a desperate move. I'm not sure, though, because they've been talking. The Clippers and the Sixers have been talking for weeks. I thought maybe the Clips would get to the point where they'd say, you know what, there's nothing here that we need. We're walking away. But I don't know whether it's Paul George and Westbrook saying, no, we need this guy, or ownership feeling like, you know what, our superstars get hurt all the time. We need another one, or they're trying to generate as much interest as they can before they move into the new building next year. I'm honestly not sure, other than the fact that Harden's been a good player, but I think there's more downside than upside. So I don't see why the Clippers wanted to make this trade.
Yeah, I don't see, because when you look at their roster, and I mentioned it before, James Harden is a scoring point guard. And I know he had a great season.
Ball
dominant point guard. You need somebody that can play off the ball as well. Maybe like a Derek White of the Celtics was available, even a Malcolm Brogdon with Portland, or somebody like that. James Harden. And the issue with James Harden, and of course I watched him when he was with the Sixers very closely, he's feast or famine in the playoffs. You cannot count on this guy. And so that's why I think this is such a tremendous move for the Philadelphia 76ers. Sure, they give up a talent, but they weren't contenders with James Harden. Now this helps, maybe they go out there and make another move. Maybe they go get OG Anunoby or Zach LaVine.
Talking about,
yeah,
we're in good position now to go get another really good player.
You got some assets now you could flip along with those draft picks. And so to me, a lot of people are saying, man, the Sixers got fleeced on this. And I think the Sixers did great on this. The only team that was bidding for James Harden services was the Clippers. And so
when there's one bidder, you're not supposed to be able to get much of value.
Right.
They did well.
And they did well. They got some good veteran players, some guys, that can help you out this season. They got some draft picks that they can flip as well. And so I think this is an improved Sixers team. And now Tyrese Maxey gets to be the guy, the reigning Eastern Conference Player of the Week.
Start.
Yes, he's off to a great start. So this is a great move. I will say, when you look at the Pacific Division now, though, Whitey, look at the star power in this division. I mean, it was already there, obviously, but now you add another Hall of Fame talent into this division, man. And so the Pacific Division is going to be fun again.
Yeah, I wonder if that was part of the appeal. It's just for the Clippers. Like, everyone's paying attention to the Lakers still. We need more star power. I don't know. But as you say, James Harden, feast or famine. That's at one end. At the other end, it's famine or more famine, right? There's just no way around that.
You're 100% right on that. I mean, he's not a good defender. He's a sieve defensively.
Defense doesn't really interest.
Exactly. There's no D in James Harden. It's James Harden.
You
like how I did that, Heron, right?
Yeah.
On the fly. And so, no, it's funny because, and I bring this analogy up all the time, but I'm talking to my son this morning about this deal, and he's like, oh, my God, the Sixers, they got fleeced. They gave up everything. They gave up P.J. Tucker and James Harden. And I'm like, Nick, it's not 2K. It's not an NBA All-Star team. You need pieces that fit together, and I don't think this fits. It reminds me of the Rockets when Barkley went there, reminds me of the Lakers when Malone and GP went there. I don't think it's going to work.
I do think it makes the Clippers more interesting, at least in the short term. I mean, I can't wait to see.
Right. I want to see how it works.
I don't think it'll work, but I can't wait to see if it does or not.
Yeah, they become much must-see TV. And, like, what does Russell Westbrook do in this offense now?
I don't know, but that's why I'm thinking he must have been in favor of this, right?
Yeah.
He must have been pushing for it.
But he wanted out of Houston when they were together in Houston, too. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, it makes that's one of the things about the NBA, all this player movement. Certainly the drama makes it a lot more interesting, and it's great for the league to have that going on early in the year. And then we got the in-season tournament. Oh, boy, it's going to be a great season, right? Fingers crossed.
Wait, right?
Fingers crossed. How about the Kings? Where are they? Getting ready to go in to play the Warriors without De'Aaron Fox. We're going to find out from Kings legend and new Kings TV analyst, the one and only Mike Bibby, joins us when we come right back. It's the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Does your dog leave frowny piles of poo around the yard? Did you know that a solid poo is one of the best indicators of your dog's gut health? Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food is made with organic super seaweed and other powerful antioxidants, supporting a healthy digestive system. Real protein is always the first ingredient, plus a blend of essential vitamins and minerals to help support your dog's overall health and well-being. Do their digestion a solid, literally. Find Supreme Source Premium Dog Food at Safeway, Save Mart, and Smart & Final, or a local grocery store near you.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Yeah, no tricks. Just a very special treat for you on this Halloween. Nice enough to join us. It's Drive Guys, Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason. We've got Kings legend, brand new TV analyst. So basically a new teammate of yours, right, Kyle? Yeah.
Let me turn on my microphone. Yeah, Mike will be joining us on pregame, halftime, and postgame. And so it's my pleasure to join welcome in the Kings legend, Mike Bibby. Mike, I appreciate you holding off your nap for us, man. I know them 18 holes, man. It takes a lot out of us, man. I understand. Thanks for coming on with us.
It's rough. Thanks for having me on.
All right, man. Let's dive right into it, man. An announcement made by the Kings and NBC Sports California today. You're going to be joining the broadcast team. What made you want to do this, and how much are you looking forward to making your debut tomorrow?
I'm kind of nervous, actually. It's not something. Like I look back, it was never in my plans to really ever go into this. I thought it's a good way to, get back with the Kings and, maybe just try to help and, try to help the younger players, and maybe some of my talks, maybe constructive criticism could help them, get better as a unit.
Mike, you were, as we all know, an excellent three-point shooter, but I think the most you ever took for a season was about 6 per game. How many threes would you and Peja be taking if you guys were playing today?
I'd take at least 15. If they're allowing everybody to take 20, I'd try to get at least 15. I wouldn't want to try to overdo it. 15 would be a good number for me.
Mike, is that the biggest change from when you played, would you say?
Yeah, I think so, because, me coming in, it was more play inside out, throwing into the post, double teams. Now you play out the kickouts. And if he didn't double team, they'll beat you on inside. So, that's a real big change in the game.
Yeah. Are there ways, Mike, in which, and maybe there aren't, I don't mean it to be a leading question, but are there ways that this team reminds you of your old Kings team?
I think they do. They have the people that come off the bench that could come in and probably be starters on other teams. And the way Sabonis passes and the way the offenses run through him sometimes too, that kind of, Vlade Divac remembrance of them too. So, I think so. I mean, they look good. They look really, really good. It's good to see them doing good again.
Mike Bibby joining us, Kings legend, of course, played 7 seasons in Sacramento, hit one of the biggest shots in Kings history during that playoff matchup with the Lakers. Mike, I want to continue on sort of comparing this year's team to your time with the Kings. One thing I see, you brought up Domantas Sabonis and his ability to pass, sort of like a Vlade, sort of like a C-Webb. How much easier does that make the game for guys like you when your big man can also handle the rock and dish?
It's something just you got to get used to. I think you have to have a high IQ to do that. I think the Warriors have that. I think the Kings have that. And it's not like a traditional offense that's ran where the point guard brings it up and the offense is run through him and you play out of that way. So, I mean, I think you got to have high IQ players to play with a big man that could pass and cut and make reads of how the defense is playing them.
I heard Sam Mitchell describe it this way once. Would you agree with this? Sam Mitchell said this offense, which, the Warriors and the Kings, there's similarities. He said it's not for everybody, but he said if you can shoot and you can move and you can think, you can play in this offense. Would you agree with that? Yeah, definitely. I mean, and it's hard to guard. You really can't prepare for it. And I think that's why it's so hard and the guys succeed at it so much is like when you go into to game time stuff and go over their offensive stuff, you really can't pinpoint on what they're going to do. So it's really hard to say, they come to the corner, they dribble off, right? I mean, it's hard to get ready for it. So, I mean, I think that's what makes the team so much better than the other guys.
Mike Bibby joining us here on The Drive, guys. Kevin Gleason, Kyle Draper. Mike, obviously the big news today in the NBA is James Harden going to the Clippers. He joins Paul George. He joins Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook. How much better do you think the Clippers will be with a guy like James Harden?
I mean, you can't go wrong with James Harden, but you got 4 of them. I don't know how much of 4 of them are going to play at the same time, but there's only one ball. And, I think 2 of the players need to have the ball in their hands at the same time. So, I mean, that's not my decision to make of when they play and what they do, but I think it'll be tough for them as far as Russell Westbrook. And I can't see Russell Westbrook spotting up or James Harden spotting up while other people do their stuff. So, it might be tough. It looks good on paper, but you got to go out there and play the game, see how it works.
Mike, Jay Will was so popular here, but the Kings needed something, and then they traded him. They brought you in, and you helped solidify this unit and made it a championship caliber team. Speaking of trades, would you be willing to tell us what you felt, what was going through your mind when you first found out you were traded to the Sacramento Kings?
I was elated. I knew the owner of the Grizzlies. I remember like it was yesterday. The owner of the Grizzlies came to me, out of respect, he said, Mike, we're going to move the team. We're going to move the team. And, is there a destination you want to go? We'll probably put your place where you want to go. And I told him, yeah. He said, give me 5 places where you want to go. I gave him 5 places. And he asked me, what's your number 1 spot you want to go? And I said, Sacramento. And the reason that was is I played for the Grizzlies for 3 years. And I remember the last game of the season, no one really came to watch us play. Whenever we'd go, no one really came to watch us play. We're last place in the league and, 20 games wins. And so we come in there. I remember coming in and it was sold out crowd. And I was like, the last game of the season, everybody, we're ready to go home. And I was like, I would love to play in front of a crowd like this every night. And how it happened, I was in the gym and I'm shooting, and, a friend of mine calls my brother, like, hey, your brother just got traded here. I was like, no, I don't think so. I would have heard from my agent. So, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm in the gym. And, you always know a trade happens when you go to your phone and you see two area codes, either the team you're playing with and the next team you're going to. So, I saw 916, and I seen a 604, so I knew it had happened. And, I just let out a shout like, thank God. And I think that I think that kind of jump started my career going to Sacramento. I knew they shout out to Jay Will too, because I think he was one of the main reasons that he brought the excitement to Sacramento. So I figured it was going to be hard to take a guy's place like that coming in, but the fans, the team, they treated me like I had been there my whole career, and that's what made it so easy for me to go out there and play.
Wow.
Mike Bibby,
Awesome.
that's great stuff, man. I had never heard that story about being in the gym 1 a.m. and getting the word that you were going to be traded, and that Sacramento was at the top of your list. What was it about the team at this time? Did you look at the roster and see a C-Webb and see a Vlade? Like, what was it about Sacramento? Was it just the crowd? And obviously we're feeling that right now with the return of the Kings to prominence. What was it about this team at that time?
The fans, the excitement that just to play with guys that played basketball how I was used to playing. I never played in my life of coming down and throwing the ball in the post and hope it comes back out to me. I've never played basketball like that. And so our best players were, Country Reeves and Sharif. So we went to them, and if, they didn't shoot out of a double team or score the ball, then we got to play. But other than that, coming to Sacramento just to play real basketball again. And I remember my first practice, I'd always hit in Vancouver, hit and just run through, go to the other side. And I remember passing the first pass, and I cut through, and I remember I had to duck. The ball almost hit me in my head. and Coach Carrillo, rest in peace, I love him. He was like, yeah, be careful. Ball's going to hit you in your damn head. And he just walked off. I said, okay, I got to be prepared to play real basketball. So it was great.
Mike, I'm glad you told that story, because I'm sort of going through that on a personal level with my son. Like, he played with a group of guys and didn't have as much fun. It was pass the ball and then never get it back, and he almost thought about giving up the game. Now he's fell in love with it again. And your teammates and your system can really impact your love of the game to an extent. How happy you are, right?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. You get that. Some pickup games are like that. You get in pickup games, guy figures it's my turn now. Okay, if they throw the ball into me, I'm gonna take the shot. So that's how it is sometimes when you're playing pickup like that. So it definitely takes a toll on how you play.
Mike Bibby with us. He's a brand new analyst for the Kings, of course, Kings legend, sharing some great memories with us. I got to ask you, Mike, since it's Halloween, people talk about scary things. When you were playing, who was the scariest guy for you to guard? Maybe the toughest, maybe he was physical for whatever reason. Who was the scariest guy for Mike Bibby to defend when you were an NBA player?
I would probably say either Stephon Marbury or Baron Davis. They probably gave me the toughest time, because, they get a lot. The guards that took a lot of shots was kind of tough for me. A guard that would get 20 to 25 shots, because that's going to make me work on, kind of both ends. And I wouldn't say I was really there for my defense, but it was just tough because you had to play both ends of the court.
Baron Davis and Stephon.
B. Diddy, and Stephon, they were strong guards too, right? Strong with the ball. Mike, obviously looking forward to you tomorrow on the pre-half and post-game show. What's your thoughts on this year's Kings? What's the outlook for them? What are you looking for from this team?
I think they'll do. I think hopefully they can make it to West Coast Conference Championship. I was on a show this past year. It gave all the benefit of the doubt. I was hoping. I was out of the country. I was hoping to come back and make it either Game 5 or Game 7, but I was out of the country, so I didn't get to make it. I thought they would get past that round, but they didn't. But I always have the confidence in them. I think that they're a young team. They can run. If they get on a run and Fox uses speed to, kind of initiate and get everybody to run with them, I think they could go a long way.
Mike, real quick before I let you go, man, I know that nap is calling you, big fella. I know you're looking forward to it. What's the message to Kings fans, man? Because I'm telling you, the buzz in the city, the vibe, having you back, having been a part of this. What do you want to say to Kings fans out there going into tomorrow?
I'm great to be back. It's great to be back. It's great to be a part of the Sacramento Kings again. and I'm here. Let's go. Let's bring it back to 2000, early 2000 vibes.
Mike Bibby.
Thank you,
Our
Mike.
guy. See
We
you tomorrow,
appreciate it.
Mike.
Thank you for having me.
All right, man.
stuff.
Great stuff. Yes, sir.
Happy Halloween. We'll take a quick time out. When we come back, we will break down our conversation with, I think Jerry used to call him the Bibbinator, Mike Bibby. It's the Drive Guys. We'll be right back on Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is thrilled to present American Idol winner Chase Beckham, Saturday, November 18th.
Now I'm 23.
Don't miss out on your chance to see this talented country artist live.
If you don't take in the backwards fireflies.
Get your tickets now to see Chase Beckham at goldcountrycasino.com, November 18th at 8 p.m.
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Must be 21 or older.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-330-2929. That's 800-330-2929. 800-330-2929.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and, and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
It's the model year-end sales event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Up, Mike Bibby. Congratulations to Mike Bibby. As we said, newest TV analyst for the Kings. But I had never heard some of the stories, specifically the one about his reaction when he got traded. And the coolest thing about that to me was the way he said, hey, shout out to Jay Will, because he created a lot of that excitement.
Yeah, 100%. Jay Will obviously will always be a part of Kings lore here. And I love the fact that he was excited, talking about Bibby, excited to come to Sacramento.
Yeah.
He wanted to be here. It was at the top of his list. And that's sort of the vibe I'm getting now, too, is it's cool to be a Sacramento Kings fan. It's cool to be on the Sacramento Kings squad. You travel into cities now, Whitey, and you got 10, 15, 20 fans waiting outside of a hotel for a De'Aaron Fox signature or a Sabonis signature or something like that. When the team was down, you'd arrive, nobody was there. Mm-hmm. Now you're starting to see that pick up, which is great to see.
Which obviously that's just a byproduct of all the hard work, but they can't, as Mike Brown is quick to remind them, and as we all know, they haven't done anything yet.
Right.
It was a wonderful year last year, but for a team with serious aspirations, they really haven't done anything.
Yeah, and to me, they were the best story in the NBA last year. Obviously snapping the streak, the drought, but to earn respectability, to be accepted into the club, you can't just be a one and done and then flame out. And that's what Mike Brown's trying to get these guys to do. And I said it the other day, no offense to the Atlanta Hawks, but the Atlanta Hawks, they're a good team, but they don't move the needle at all. They're sort of mediocre. You know, if you're Sacramento, you're trying to build something here. You want to compete for championships. You want to be with the Golden States, the Bostons, the Denvers of the world, the Milwaukees. And so what happened last year, the only reason if I'm Mike Brown and I'm looking back to last year is using it as motivation for this year, really. You know, sure, you got some tape of teams and things like that, but what happened in terms of winning and losing, that's in the past. Like, you should remember Game 7, yes, in the way Steph Curry dropped 50 on you. That's what I would like to see this Kings remember. Remember that he dropped 41 on you the other night when you face him tomorrow and somebody step up. Like, but that's the only reason I'm looking in the rearview mirror.
I really appreciated what Mike said about the offense and how it's hard to prepare for. And if I may, and I know no one cares, but it reminds me of when I was coaching a young ladies team. They're a very good team. They would have won most of the games without a coach. But we ran some freelance stuff, and I'd see guys from scouts from the other teams would come, and they'd be watching us.
Yeah.
And I'd see them, and I realized, you don't know what we're going to do because we don't know what we're going to do. You can't write it down. So with the Kings, and obviously at a much higher level, the Kings and the Warriors, when you have those kind of freelance things, it's hard to prepare for because what a player does depends on all these different circumstances. And the Warriors, I know the offenses aren't identical. The Warriors turn the ball over a lot, in part because of the nature of that offense. And that's why it's so impressive to me that, for example, the last game, the Kings, I think they had 10 turnovers. So they're able to play a more wide open style, a little more freelance, and they take care of the ball too. That's remarkable.
Yeah, and that's, if you can do both, because you bring up the Warriors turnovers, when they lose games most of the time, it's because they turn the ball over. They get sloppy with it. 19, 20 turnovers. They did that against us back on Friday. They still were able to win it, however, but the Kings made that charge. Remember, in the fourth, what did they turn it over? I think 11 times or 8 times, something like that.
They almost literally
in the fourth
let
quarter.
the Kings back in.
Yeah.
And the Kings had something to do with that, with the way they were trapped.
Exactly. But, when I watched this Sacramento offense, there was one possession the other night against the Lakers. Kevin Huerter had it, and he passed it to Domantas Sabonis at the top of the key. And Kevin Huerter was going to do a dribble handoff with Sabonis, but then Keegan Murray on the other side was coming up as well. And so it's not, you have to read what's happening on the floor. It's like read and react, sort of like, a quarterback out there. It's read and react. And it's not, all right, you go from spot X to spot Y every time we run this play. No, it's free-flowing basketball, and that's where high basketball IQ comes in. And so I think you got two of the best teams at it in the league right now set to face off tomorrow.
It reminds me of a play that doesn't really have to do specifically with the type of offense they run, but it was a really impressive play. De'Aaron Fox in the game, fourth quarter. You probably remember this, and I think the Kings were up 4, and there's maybe about a minute to go, and the Kings get the rebound. I think LeBron might have missed a shot. So everyone starts walking up the floor because you figure, all right, this is time to run some clock.
Yeah.
And De'Aaron Fox doesn't walk to the floor, and he starts pushing it, and he pushes for Keegan. He points for Keegan. Go. Keegan runs to the wing, and Fox hits him, and he buries a 3 kind of in transition because they caught the Lakers off guard.
Napping a little bit.
And that speaks to, like you say, you got to be smart. You got to have a high IQ to play this type of offense efficiently, and they have smart players.
And that's why Mike Brown, how he wants them to play. Up tempo, let it fly. Don't let the defense get set up. Always be in attack mode. And obviously, into game clocks or into quarter clocks, you want to hold for one possession. But Mike Brown wants this offense to be relentless. And, it was funny because I was talking, I might have been talking to Ron Adams, the assistant coach of the Golden State Warriors, great defensive mind. And, we were talking about offense and what the Kings do. And I think it was him. He was saying, when you have an up-tempo offense like that, players want to play in that kind of, it's a free-flowing, they know they're going to get a ball. To Mike Bibby's point, when you play with the Vancouver Grizzlies back in the day and you give it to Big Country or Sharif, you're not getting it back. And so then you don't want to run the floor maybe as fast. Maybe you don't compete as hard on defense. But when you know you get touches, it's just like youth basketball. I tell kids I coach all the time, you have to involve everybody on offense. If you're going to ask them to bust their butt defensively, you got to reward players with the ball offensively. And that's the one thing about this Kings offense. Everybody's going to get their touches. Everybody's going to get their chances. One night it might be Fox. The next night it's Sabonis, Herter, who, like, if you play it the right way, everybody should get an opportunity.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's also a lot harder to guard.
Yes, yes, exactly. It's one of those, and when you look at some of the other teams in the NBA, I'll throw the Lakers out there, for example. We know LeBron's going to have the ball a lot in his hands. Dallas even, Luka, we know that's much easier to guard, a one-on-one kind of player. James Harden, much easier to guard. That's what makes the Warriors so great because, 1 through 5, they can gas you, and the Kings are at that level too. Sabonis can get you. Everybody on the floor is a threat in the Kings offense.
From the 916 here on the text line, Mike, come back. We could use you while Fox is out.
That would be nice, right? if we could hop in the hot tub time machine, and you were around when Bibby played. How would you characterize him as a heady player, tough player,
and a good shooter?
Yeah.
And I just remember the game was different then when they'd have those series against the Lakers. And he'd bring the ball up. He wasn't necessarily a pure point guard, but he had bring the ball up, and the Lakers used to batter him. But that was the way the game was. Then, you know.
Yeah, no, he was a solid player, heady player,
he would shoot
clutch player
ton
too.
Of threes if he played now.
Oh, he said, what did he say, 20 or something like 15? Oh, 15, he'd settle
for 15.
And he can knock him down too, man. It's
yes.
And there's certain guys, Mitch Richmond, I'll throw in that, Mike Bibby, the guy in Boston, Antoine Walker. You remember Antoine Walker? Antoine Walker played in today's game. Shoot, I can't say that. Shoot, he shot 8 threes a game back in early 2000s. Imagine what he would do right now.
Yeah, Gilbert Arenas.
Gilbert, yeah. Guys that could get it up, let it fly, and not even worry about it. And so the game has definitely changed. And I wonder, too, when you look at LeBron and the scoring record, do you think that will ever be broken? Guys are playing 20 years now. Guys are taking a lot of threes now. Could that record be challenged? Oh, I stumped you there. You're thinking I was thinking, like, in today's day and age, if you have the health and you have the shooting,
the three-point
shot,
everything.
Changes everything.
I don't see it. I don't see, because I saw, as you did, as a lot of people did who were listening, what Kareem did to set the record in the first place was absolutely remarkable.
Yeah.
He played at such a high level for so long. And then by the end, he wasn't the same, but he was still a productive player. And then you see on top of that, okay, so LeBron basically is playing at his age. We've never seen anything like that. So can someone top that? It's hard to say no, but it's hard to imagine.
It's hard to imagine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron's going to finish with more than 40,000 points.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to average 25 to 30 a season for 20 years. Like, it's one of those stats where it's crazy to think of somebody breaking it, but if somebody does, it'll be because of the 3-point shot, I think.
Well, someday we'll end up with a LeBron-type player, which, that's just disrespectful
I know,
to
right?
say that.
I thought he was a once-in-a-generation,
but somebody who's somewhat similar to him, who's like a Bibby, not a Bibby, I meant to say a Curry, LeBron hybrid.
Think
and
about
if we
it.
get
With
that,
the jump shot, too, like Curry?
That's what I'm saying.
Gosh. Unstoppable.
Yeah. So the records will be tumbling then. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, can we get back to Brock Purdy for just a second?
Do we have to?
Can we get back to
I'm trying to
Brock
lay
Purdy?
off Brock. I don't want to come at him anymore.
I'll tell you why, giving up on Brock Purdy right now, it is not a smart thing to do. Tell you why when we come right back in the Drive, guys. Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay mainly clear with light winds through the night tonight. A very mild evening for Halloween. Nice day tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies with highs in the mid-70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone. Every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slowed. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from this station's network.
At Harbor Freight, we think you shouldn't have to break the bank to get great tools. Because we know that for some of you, tools are part of the job. And for others, they're just the beginning of making, fixing, restoring, and building. That's why we make high-quality tools that are priced affordably. Because we love being the start of all your working, making, fixing, restoring, and building. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same. But at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
We are all Drive Guys. Thanks for your participation. Let's see what the smartest viewers on YouTube and listeners in radio have to say today. You can hit us up on the chat, YouTube, or text line. Give us a call, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Derek Vercelli, we were talking about players from the past who would be prolific three-point shooters today. Derek says Jay Richardson from the Warriors, early 2000s.
Yeah, he was a great three-point shooter, right? He competed in the three-point contest and the dunk contest.
He was a dunk contest winner.
Yeah, dunk contest winner. Yeah, he could do it all.
Amadrock says, we're in the day and age of load management. We won't see stats like those anymore.
I had not considered that. That could be a factor. You're right, 100%.
And Steven Torres, we were talking about old T-shirts earlier. I have shorts that I've had since high school, 16 years old. My girlfriend just told me last week I can only wear them fishing or watching football with the boys. Spine check on aisle Steven, huh? Your girlfriend doesn't tell you when you can wear your shorts, right?
Yes, she does.
What?
Yes,
What?
Because he didn't put a ring on it first. It's his girlfriend, Whitey. His girlfriend. That means she has options to leave if she wants.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't do what she says, sayonara. And so now when he puts a ring on it, you're married. Now you're connected, But a girlfriend, please. Come on, man.
All right. Well, maybe it's a deal breaker for you, Steven. I'm just think about it.
What kind of shorts, too, is he talking about? Like, remember the old school champion shorts back in the day? Those are coming back. Like, the shorts are actually coming back with these kids nowadays.
I may have some. I may have to see if I still have
Right,
them.
exactly. That's the thing about fashion, right? Just hold on to it for about 30 years or so, and it'll come back.
Brock Purdy's coming back, too,
Give me that. Do we got to talk? You know what?
Brock Purdy's coming back.
This is the last time this week I talk. It's a bye week. Can I get a bye week from Brock Purdy talk?
Here is why. No.
Okay.
Here's why giving up on Brock Purdy right now is not a smart thing to do. He's pressured last week on 46.2% of his dropbacks. He is out there fighting for his life.
Oh, my God.
All right? One of the things that you hear naysayers say about Brock Purdy, perhaps you are one, perhaps you have.
Yeah, I might have said this. What you got?
They've said it. He's a pea shooter. Doesn't have a strong arm. Dink and dunk. He's just throwing short stuff, or over the middle, short passes.
Nobody says that. Why do you?
No, I believe
I'm gonna
I've
let you
heard people
frame
say that.
I'm gonna let you frame this, but go ahead. Nobody said he's dinking and dunking. Go ahead.
Against the Bengals, Brock Purdy, and by the interceptions have to stop. Period.
Yes.
If they don't stop. You can't play
Right.
him. They have to stop. But he completed 4 of 5 attempts of 20 or more yards. I'm not talking about a 6-yard pass and then running for 14. 20-yard air attempts. He attempted 5 passes or 20 or more yards against the Bengals. Completed 4 of them. The other one bounced off of Brandon Ayuk's face mask. That's pretty good. But people look at what's wrong with Brock Purdy? Oh, the interceptions. Yeah, I knew it. I knew he was no good. I knew there was a reason why nobody drafted him until the 49ers took him last. I'm telling you, he actually is doing some really good things this year. He has actually improved over last year in terms of being aggressive, taking shots downfield. Again, the turnovers have to stop or it doesn't matter. You can't keep throwing the ball to the other team. But Brock Purdy, and against Minnesota, against Cincinnati, other than the interceptions, which were backbreaking, he played very well, and he moved the chains in a way that some of his naysayers say he's not capable of doing. So give up on Brock Purdy right now.
Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. Can I say it again? Do I need to look into my single shot here on the YouTube chat and say Brock Purdy is a good quarterback, Niners fans? I haven't been the one that says he's just dinking and dunking. I've been saying the receivers are running wide open. When Brandon Ayuk, there's no defender within 4 or 5 yards of him, it's easy to make the throw. That's what I've been saying. And give him credit. He has made some great throws. And I forget who it was earlier today. Maybe you sent this out, or maybe we talked about it earlier. But Brock Purdy, for most of that game, he's made some great throws. So, you can't just bash him for the interceptions like I've been doing and the turnovers without also giving him credit for some of the throws that he's made during those games.
I think some of the people that are naysayers, and you may end up being right. I don't think so, but I understand why people would say Brock Purdy's no good. But some people said Brock Purdy wasn't very good. Then he played well, and you didn't hear from them. And then he throws the interceptions, and they're saying, well, see, I told you. What they're overlooking is he made some big-time throws in that game against the Bengals. I think even Tony Romo said, this is a high-level throw.
He did that several times.
Tony
he said
Romo,
that.
he sounds like a dog who's been debarked, doesn't he? Because
he got clipped, huh? He got the vocal cords got
because he's been yelling for so long his whole life. So Yes.
Yes. Why you dissing Tony Romo like that, man? That's
a fact. I'm not dissing him. You can hear it, the poor guy.
I thought he was quite entertaining this week. Tony Romo was.
He's good.
He was very good, I thought, watching this game. But to that point regarding Brock Purdy, I think what we need to see from him, he's good enough to be a good regular season quarterback. He can lead you to the NFC Championship game. But when it comes time, and they said this during the telecast, I think, or on ESPN this morning.
Or maybe you made it up. Whatever.
Or maybe I made it up. When you got to go against the game's greatest quarterbacks, the Joe Burrows, the Mahomes, and I know you're going against their team's defense, but you have to outplay them. I will tell you this right now, Whitey, and tell me if you agree with me. In the playoffs, in the biggest of games, in the Super Bowl, teams rarely win when their quarterbacks are outplayed by the other team's quarterback. And so that's what I'm saying. Okay. If Brock Purdy is going to have to outplay Josh Allen, outplay Patrick Mahomes, outplay Jalen Hurts, outplay Jared Goff, outplay Dak Prescott in the playoffs. Like, those are the things I want to see from Brock Purdy. He can make throws. We've seen that. But when it comes time to lead you to a win, can he do that? We have yet to see that.
He did win a couple playoff games last year, but all right, it's fair.
But 19-12 against that was.
But what I'm saying is that he is taking some shots downfield and having some success with that.
Yeah,
I think he's shown growth in that area. I do. Also, I would say this, and let's just take a wider view. This isn't so much just Brock Purdy, but the offense against the Bengals. You know, you look at that, it's like, wow, they were terrible. They averaged offensively 8.2 yards per play. That's the highest for their offense since a game against the Bears in 2021. So I know, 17 points is 17 points. But I think this is an indication. Forget Brock Purdy for a minute. The bigger problem for them is the defense. The offense, they need to score more points. But that's why this is such a big day. They get Chase Young. If he does improve the pass rush, I think that starts to move everything for the 49ers. Everything, plus the good health, better health, in the right direction. Fingers crossed.
Does Chase Young help you with the ground game in terms of stopping the run? Because there were some gaping holes this past week for the Bengals.
Absolutely.
Joe Mixon was running through, like,
totally
he
true.
would get 8 yards and then get touched. Like,
absolutely.
So, Chase Young, great defensive lineman, great pass rusher. My thing is there's so many holes. Not saying that they're far off, but if they want to be a Super Bowl champion, they got to shore up the defensive line when it comes to the pass rush, but also stopping the run as well.
I agree completely.
That's been a huge issue. And if you can't stop the run, you're not going to win football games. And that's, we saw it against Cleveland. We saw it, against Minnesota. We saw it last week against the Bengals. These teams are gashing them. Sure, the quarterbacks are playing well, but they're doing it also with the run game.
Yeah, I agree. And that's one of their biggest problems. I agree. Can he address that? Can Chase Young address that?
We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll
Fingers
see.
Crossed. But you're right. If they don't plug that leak, however you want to phrase it, they're not going to win a Super Bowl. They're just not.
Right.
There's no way you're going to win a Super Bowl.
No, that's 100%. And there's still time, obviously. This team came within a few injuries away from making the Super Bowl. So I don't believe that they need to go out there and make all these kind of moves and everything with the defense. They have the personnel. They just got to be better. I said it earlier. The players just have to be better.
On this Halloween, we will look at what is very scary about the Kings matchup with the Warriors tomorrow night. That's next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Happy Halloween. We head down the home stretch here, last hour of the day here on the drive. What a day it's been already. Thank you for being with us. Special thanks to Mike Bibby for joining us. Mike Bibby is going to be joining the Kings broadcast crew starting tomorrow night. Warriors against the hated Golden State Warriors. And Kyle Draper, like a lot of people, the game was on NBA TV last night. I watched the Warriors last night taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. And let me tell you, right now, the Warriors playing pretty good basketball. Pretty good basketball.
And Kings playing pretty good basketball. We just had a big win the other night against the Lakers.
I know, but De'Aaron Fox isn't playing tomorrow night. So it's a little concerning. It's also concerning because, all right, you're right, the Kings are playing well. But I thought that the Warriors would be having some problems early in the year, especially when it comes to Chris Paul. Is he going to start? He's coming off the bench. Well, the last couple of games he's come off the bench, and apparently he's okay with it, and he's playing well. And Steph Curry is playing, in some ways, it's just 4 games. In some ways, in these 4 games, better than he ever has, believe it or not.
That's scary.
Yes,
that is scary.
Yes,
on this Halloween Tuesday. If I'm the Kings, I'm having nightmares of Steph Curry because he's playing great basketball right now. Dropped 41 against you, dropped 50 against you in Game 7. He's a nightmare for the Kings right now.
30 minutes Monday night, second game of back-to-back for Curry and the Warriors, and Curry scored 42. So his numbers through the first 4 games of his 15th season, 33.5 points per game, shooting 55.8% from the field. Beyond the three-point line, he's shooting 47.1%. Come on.
47?
That's his on threes.
On threes. And it's high-volume threes, too. It's not like he's taking 3 of them a game or anything like that.
So he's averaging more than 1 point per minute. You got effective field goal percentage and all that stuff. 24 3-pointers through the first 4 games of the season. That's an NBA record. And as you say, 24 of them on 47.1% shooting.
Why you got to do that to me?
Well, I was hoping
I got the call tomorrow.
I know. I was hoping you're going to say, yeah, I know, Whitey. But you know what? Here's the good news from the Kings side of it. So you have
the good news is, and because I'm always a glass half full kind of guy. That's who I am, you know? And so I'm going to tell you, Kings fans, why you do have something to look forward to. My guy, Davion Mitchell, will most likely get the start tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And he most likely will be charged with guarding Steph Curry. Tough task. We understand that. But if anybody on this Kings roster can try and limit Steph Curry, I think it's my guy, Davion.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking forward to that matchup. We know De'Aaron Fox is a great point guard. He's a great defender. But Davion is, in my opinion, one of the top 5 on-ball defenders in the entire NBA. And so I'm looking forward to that matchup tomorrow.
Yes.
That's the silver lining. Davion, how many times have we talked about, Whitey, why is Kevin Huerter guarding Steph Curry? Like, how many fans have come up to me and said, how many times will we talk? Well, tomorrow night, it won't be Kevin Huerter starting off on Steph Curry. It'll be off night starting off on Steph Curry. So I'm looking forward to that matchup.
Is this anything? I'm not going to say, hey, I think the Kings are catching the Warriors at a good time because I said that Friday and I was wrong. But the Warriors played Friday. They played Sunday in Houston. They played last night in New Orleans. And then, is this one of those? Yeah, they're home tomorrow, but it's kind of it's almost like an extension of the road trip. Because that'll be what, 4 in 6?
4 in 6 nights?
Including 3 and 4?
Yeah, but
okay,
you know what? I'm not giving you that because you're looking for something, but it's a rivalry game. And Steph Curry, let's be honest, based on the eye test, he enjoys kicking the Kings' butt. He gets a joy out of beating Sacramento. We saw it obviously in the preseason. We saw it in Game 7. We saw it last week on Friday. And so, they'll be up. And it's our first time looking at Draymond Green. First time Draymond's going up against the Sacramento Kings since Game 7. And so we're not catching them at a good time or anything like that. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be tough tomorrow.
Yeah. So you're going Davion, you're starting Davion, and that makes sense. And I admit, I said yesterday, they should start Monk, but you're right. Typically, Davion gets the start because Monk's so valuable coming off the bench, right?
Yeah, and Mike Brown did say today, your boy Kobe Jones should see some action too.
Good.
And so it'll be interesting to see how he fares in that kind of environment. Rivalry game against the Warriors. I'm looking forward to seeing him in some meaningful games. He could be a difference maker in this game.
I know it's a totally different environment in the regular season, but he didn't show a trace of discomfort or nervousness or anything like that in the preseason.
It looked to me like he was playing, like Kobe Jones looks like the same guy that plays college ball, NBA ball, rec ball at Lifetime, playground ball. Like, he just looks the same, right? Unfazed, unbothered, going to play his game. And so that's why I'm interested to see him tomorrow in a hostile environment. See if, does he get a little out of sorts, a little out of whack? I don't think so. I just think he's that cool of a customer, but it'll be interesting. So. Yeah.
Sasha Vezenkov need to pick up some offensive slack, or is that really something where Keegan is going to have to?
Yeah. Keegan, as excited as we are about him, he's off to a little bit of a slow start in terms of efficiency. I think he's averaging 15 points and change. I need that to be up there right around 18. So I need him to have a big game tomorrow. I'm going to give you a number right here. I'm going to make it up on the spot. Keegan Murray tomorrow. I should
write down or not?
Yeah, write it down.
Okay.
Keegan Murray tomorrow, if the Kings are going to win, needs to score 24 or more points.
Ooh, okay.
Like, he needs to be, I would think, their leading scorer tomorrow. So it's Keegan, it's Malik Monk. They need something from Kevin Huerter. But without De'Aaron Fox averaging better than 30 points a game so far this season. The dude is playing extremely well. So who's going to make up that scoring? Because with Golden State, it's not going to be a 90-87 kind of game. It's
so.
going to be a 120, 123 kind of game. So you're going to need to score points. And so Keegan has to come up big tomorrow.
Then you also have the issue of, all right, assuming it's a competitive game, fourth quarter Fox.
Who do we turn to?
Right.
Who's that guy?
And I think based on what we saw in overtime, it's not a guy so much as it's going to have to be,
right.
Monk orchestrating an offensive attack where maybe he leads it, but it won't be anything like who's the De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, and that's what we need to see tomorrow night, because I don't want to see Malik Monk try to take it over and be De'Aaron Fox. I don't want to see Keegan try to be, this team is good enough where Keegan can hit big shots. Malik can hit big shots. Kevin Huerter, we saw it, can hit big shots. Domantas Sabonis. And so down the stretch, it's going to be execution that gets it done, not a single person's heroics like we've seen from De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, I thought that defensively there were some really encouraging signs against the Lakers. And I know that's a whole different team than the Warriors. You're talking about an entirely different set of responsibilities, but I thought there were some really encouraging signs.
Yeah, they were very physical, obviously, gave up a lot of fouls, but I'd rather have that than, just letting the Lakers waltz into the paint. The Kings, I thought, also did a good job protecting the paint as well. Those first couple of games, that first game, especially against Utah, when they gave up 60 plus points in the paint, that can't happen. And against the Warriors, who had 44 points in the paint, I think, but then they also gassed you with the three. To me, stopping Golden State and defending Golden State is limiting layups, obviously, limiting those backdoor cuts. But then this is what makes them so hard to guard, because you also have to defend the three as well. They can beat you on multiple levels. And so I think, I'm living with Steph Curry heaving 25, 27-footers. I don't like Steph Curry getting downhill, getting to the basket like we saw in Game 7 back in April or May.
You just got to make a lot of shots. You got to shoot a high percentage and force them to walk it up. And,
are they better than you thought they would be? They're better. They're playing better than I expected.
Yeah,
so far.
Yes,
they look like a well-oiled machine. Like, it's going much smoother than I expected.
Yeah, and like I said, Steph Curry, you watch him. I mean, I've seen virtually every, just about every game he's played the last 3 years. But then watching him on this stretch and watching him last night, it's like, wow. I mean, you know what he can do, but this little run he's on here is like, oh my goodness, he's making ridiculous shots.
Yes, he's making. And you know what I'm seeing from Steph Curry, and this is why he's one of the game's greats. He's an all-time competitor. He heard all the chirping, all the fun people were making about their road record last year, getting eliminated by the Lakers in the second round, all of that. And he's coming out with a hunger. He's he's coming out looking to, really, put it on you in your own building at that. I mean, it's been tremendous to watch. And I'm excited for tomorrow, man. I think it's going to be a good game.
Right?
Opportunity, right?
Kings throw a scare into them without Fox. How about that for a statement?
Exactly. And Davion will get the assignment, I believe. They might be in San Francisco already. They were bussing down today for the game tomorrow. And so get a good night's sleep off night, because this is your chance. You're going to get a healthy dose of Chef Curry tomorrow.
Kyle, we were just talking a little bit ago about who's going to break LeBron's records. And we said maybe there'll be someday a kind of a LeBron Curry hybrid from the 5-3-0. Isn't Durant already a Curry LeBron hybrid? Interesting thought.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Not quite. But
not quite,
I see where you're going there.
Yeah, he the ability to score on multiple levels, can shoot the three, no doubt. Durant was robbed, obviously, of a season because of injury, too. I think Durant just moved into 12th all-time in scoring, I think, this past week.
I think he's somehow, honestly believe he's somehow underrated. I think
I
think underrated.
So. I think so as well. When we talk about the game, where would you rate him, though, historically? I don't know if he's a top 10 player, but he's a top 20 player, in my opinion, all time in the NBA.
Yeah.
But nobody really talks about him, though.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that. Well, I guess we know why it is, because he's perceived as somebody kind of hitched his wagon to the stars in Golden State. He doesn't get the credit maybe he deserves for being a 2-time Finals MVP. But, the old question about you got one shot and anybody can take it to win a game. Obviously, Jordan's the answer, but Durant is a guy that I would consider for that as well.
Yeah, exactly. And he came
he gets any shot he wants at any time, just about.
And he came within 2 inches of beating the Milwaukee Bucks a couple of seasons ago. And who knows what happens? Maybe he leads that Brooklyn Nets team to a championship. 2-time Finals MVP. Let's not forget. Sure, Steph Curry has 4 rings, but I don't know if they beat Cleveland without Kevin Durant. Like, they needed Kevin Durant in that series. He was the equalizer. He was the difference maker.
When we come back, anybody up for a little ghost story on Halloween? An NBA ghost story?
Oh, man. Okay.
All right. Yeah, involving a former NBA player and his encounter with the spiritual world. He says, I don't know what it was, but something happened. That's next here on this Halloween edition of The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said, I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around this store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
The Drive Guys, live and local. Every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
And it's official. Davion Mitchell is going to get to start for the Kings, as Kyle Draper tried to tell us yesterday, tomorrow night. And then, for the foreseeable until De'Aaron Fox is ready to go. Davion Mitchell says you can't really fill into De'Aaron Fox's shoes, but you can try to help your team out in different ways. So I think that's what I'm doing. And he's being a little modest there, but he's got experience doing this. He's filled in and started for Davion before.
Yeah, exactly. And in his rookie year, as a matter of fact, I think it was the last 10, 11 games of the season, he averaged close to 19 points per game filling in for De'Aaron Fox. And obviously that was a different team, different circumstances, different supporting cast around you. But I don't think we need Davion to come out there and try and drop 20 points tomorrow or anything like that.
But don't you think 14 to 16
right.
really go a long way towards it?
It'd be nice if I get 3 threes out of him or something like that, get to the line a few times.
And that's the type of player he needs to become for them to be as good as they want to.
No, I think so. But the great thing is their offense will allow him that opportunity. It's all about making shots. He's going to get the attempts. He's going to get the looks. He's going to have to knock them down. But this offense, the way they move the ball, it's not like he needs to be a traditional point guard and set everybody else up. Lean on Domantas Sabonis for that. But when you get the ball, you got to make something happen. And don't just live and die with the three either for Davion. Take it to the basket, get to the line, And so I think this is a huge opportunity for him. And when you look at this Warriors team, if you're guarded by Steph Curry, it's not like he's going to lock you down or anything like that. And so I think there will be some opportunities for Davion tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm. How about Domas Sabonis and how well he played Friday and what he needs to do to pick up even more of the slack without De'Aaron Fox in the lineup?
I think when you talk about who needs to have a big game for the Kings, yes, Keegan, no doubt about that. But I think Domantas Sabonis has to be the best big. He has to be in my opinion, one of the 2 or 3 best players on the floor tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. No offense to Kevon Looney. Great teammate, good player. Excuse me. But
He has to be
Domantas
the guy.
Sabonis, has to be the guy.
He has to
I
be the
need
guy in the huddle where the Warriors going, well, okay, look, we got to slow down.
right.
Yeah.
I need a 20 and 15 kind of night and an 8 assist kind of night from Domantas Sabonis tomorrow night. He can't just be another guy. Him and Looney can't cancel each other out.
Yeah. So do you think Domas maybe needs to let it fly a little bit? Be ready and willing to shoot the long ball, 3-pointer?
If it's there, yeah, but I don't want him to sell.
Give it to him.
Yeah, but I don't. You know what? One of the things that I would like to see from Domantas Sabonis, Whitey, is just because they give it to you doesn't mean you have to take it. And hear me out here on this.
Actually, I agree with you. Go ahead.
You do agree? All right,
I
hear me
do
out.
agree with you.
Just because it's there to take doesn't mean you have to shoot the three. So just because you got it at the top of the key and Looney's backing up, one of the things great players do is they put pressure on you offensively. Domas, if Looney's backing up on you, take up that space, dribble in, make a move going to the basket against them. Don't just settle for that because that's what they want you to do. You can take up some of that space, move in, shoot the mid-range, move in, Euro step your way to the basket, get to the cup. Don't just settle for the three tomorrow.
Yeah, he took 2 Friday night, missed them both. But that was one of the keys to the game. Now, the Warriors made 14 threes. The Kings made 12. But the Warriors shot 44% beyond the arc, and the Kings were 12 of 40, 30%. And that's where it starts.
That's a big difference right there.
If you're going to stay in the game against them tomorrow, I think you got to be more competitive from the 3-point stripe.
And the thing is, when you watch that game on Friday, Keegan Murray especially, he had 3 or 4 that rimmed out. And so
that's what Mike Brown was saying after the game.
Yeah, they had
some
good
of those,
looks.
He's catching a little front rim, and they're, you know what? The best shooters don't have to worry about in and out because
it just
doesn't
goes
hit the rim. And it seemed like in the second half of the game against the Lakers, he made a little bit of an adjustment, started making those. But, sometimes, it's bad luck. On the other hand, if you don't hit the rim, it ain't going to.
And then you ain't got to worry
out.
about that.
Yeah.
But that's going to be, you're right 100% about, you got to match the Warriors' offensive output. Like, you got to be able to score the ball against them because they're so good offensively, and your defense isn't where you want it to be right now. So you're not going to win a slugfest 90-88. You are going to have to score with them, and some threes are going to have to go down.
Mm-hmm. You know how many fast break points the Kings had against the Warriors last week?
I'm going to just guess. 5?
5.
You put up 5. I was going to say 8. I was going to give it a benefit of they got to do better than that, right? That needs to be 12 to 15.
Yeah, and I think they were 2 for 11, so there was some missed
2 for
opportunity
11
there.
in fast break opportunities.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are spray with threes in transition or layups trying to get to the bucket, but you got to penalize them and punish them when it comes to fast break.
Yeah, so obviously they got to play better, which is tougher without Fox, but you look at the way they played Friday, you can see a number of areas in which, wow, there is room for improvement there. It's not unreasonable to think that they would do better in a number of those areas. Specifically, they got to make a higher percentage of their threes.
One thing I'm worried about, though, Whitey, and listeners out there is the Warriors might be in the Kings' head right now. And that's why tomorrow's game is so important. They win game 7. They took 4 out of the final 5 games against you in the playoffs. They took 2 in the preseason. And now they won this last game. They've won, 7 out of the last 8 games dating back to the playoffs against the Sacramento Kings. And so there will come a point where you start to think, man, no matter what, we can't get over these guys. Man, we can't stop Steph Curry. So who's going to step up and be that leader tomorrow and say, you know what? Enough is enough. I said last week, we did the show Friday, 25 is my magic number for Steph Curry. If he hits you for more than 25, it's going to be tough. And I know 25 should be easy for him. Like, he's right that now. Good. Like, but you hold him to 20. Heck, I'll even say you hold him under 30. You win the game tomorrow night. They need Steph Curry, talking about the Warriors, to be great. There's a reason why they're 3-0 on the road. There's a reason why they're off to a great start. It's because Steph is playing at such a high level. Wiggins has been absent so far this season. Draymond is just coming back. Klay missed last night against the Pelicans. And so to me, Steph Curry is the cheat code. If you somehow contain him, hold him under 30, I think you win tomorrow night.
How?
That's why I'm sitting here with you, big fella. I'm not Mike next to Mike Brown. I don't get paid the big bucks.
How are we going to do that? Yeah.
People smarter than me have tried, and they still can't figure it out.
It comes down to this secret formula that you've alluded to, and it's not your formula, but the analytics that show that Herder actually does a good job on Curry, supposedly.
That's what it was in the playoffs, and we saw that a little bit, I think, in on the game Friday. Kevin Herder guarding him. If I'm Mike Brown, and Mike, I know you listen to the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports 1140 all the time.
Yeah.
What's up, Mike Brown? Let Davion loose. I need Davion Mitchell 25 to 30 minutes guarding Steph Curry. Tell Davion, D, do what you do. Harass Steph Curry. That's what needs to happen tomorrow night. 94 feet. Hound this guy. Harass him. Put him in cuffs. It's time to earn that nickname Off Night. Off Night was given in college. I need to see it here in the pros tomorrow night.
The other thing that the Kings need is for Kevin Herder to put an end to his slump. And this is the team to do it against, because this is a team that started it. And yeah, he did some nice things, made a big shot against the Lakers, but against the Warriors, he was, and I'm not trying to bury him, but you know that it's in his head. You said the Warriors are in the Kings' heads. He was 0 for 5 against the Warriors.
And he only played 16 and change, right? Or 15 and
15 and a half.
15 and a half. Yeah.
0 for 5. All threes, and he missed them all. So put it into it. Put it into it.
What does he need to make? 3.5? Over under 3.5? 4 threes from Kevin Herder. You'll take that?
That'll do it.
Yeah.
You make 4
think
threes
so.
against the Warriors, like, okay, that's in the rearview mirror now. Here we go.
I agree 100%. And if Klay Thompson plays tomorrow, I got a matchup for you to watch out for. Malik Monk / Kevin Herder against Klay Thompson. And I'll even throw in Andrew Wiggins. If they can hold their own against that, I like the Kings' chances. We know Malik's going to come to ball. We know he's going to be a gamer.
He didn't play that well Friday.
No, he didn't. He didn't. But based off of what I saw against the Lakers, it's a big game coming up tomorrow night. Malik Monk, he relishes that moment. Sure, he didn't play well in terms of shooting the ball on Friday night, but I expect Malik to deliver. Kevin Herder now, you're right. I need 14, 15 points from Kevin Herder tomorrow night. I mean, especially with no De'Aaron Fox, right?
Right.
Like, it's not all one person. It's on everybody to give a little more.
Right.
And Kevin Herder has to do that
Kevin
tomorrow.
Herder needs to hurt the Warriors tomorrow night.
I like that.
And Davion and Sabonis, to me, are the two that have to compensate as far as the edge. We don't have our best player. That's all right. Climb on our backs. De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk have to take care of that. Excuse me. So Domas Sabonis and Malik Monk.
You know what, though? To your point, Domantas Sabonis, if you want to be third-team All-NBA, if you want to be a 3-time All-Star, if you want to get a $217 million extension, when De'Aaron Fox is out,
yes,
it's your time,
and
right?
He knows that.
He knows it. Of course he knows it. He has to be one of the top 2 or 3 players tomorrow night, and I think my guy will do it. And then Manny says HB2. All of them need to play better. They all got to play better than what we saw Friday night.
Yeah, boy, in the old days, like when Mike Bibby played, you could touch up Curry a little bit. Do that now. They throw you out of the game.
Man, that's the logo, right? That's the league. Like, he is like the poster child for the NBA. You can't touch Steph Curry.
I know a lot of people say, "Oh, those were the days," but it's a better game now, don't you think? And maybe you disagree.
Then the mid-90s and the late, when it was the Heat and the Knicks
and backing people down and hitting them over the head, with a tire iron during the game.
Yeah,
that was allowed.
Right, that was allowed. Exactly. No, it is. It's a much more pleasant game to watch for sure.
What's not pleasant, or not always pleasant, is hanging out with ghosts in a haunted hotel. And we've got the story of an NBA player who says, "Yeah, that happened to me." And that's coming up next on this Halloween edition of the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is an entertainment experience like no other. We're the only place where you can play blackjack, then hop on an indoor car track. We're the only place with more than 2,000 of the hottest slots and a state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and a resort hotel to stay after you play. Is it any wonder we've been voted best over 100 times? We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
Hey y'all, this is Bill with the Good Guys. Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling now. Tired of overpriced repairs? Call the Good Guys. Jaw-dropping quote for a new HVAC system? Call the Good Guys. Don't trust the other guys. Call the Good Guys. We offer free second opinions. Family owned and operated, always ready to serve the community. We offer the best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull.
Call 530-GOOD-AIR. License number 1057618.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. Not much went right for the red and gold in Week 8, losing their third straight game of the season, 31-17. Cincinnati quarterback Joe Burrow was cooking early, throwing for 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. Running back Joe Mixon also got involved, going for 87 yards on the ground. His lone touchdown put the exclamation point on the visitors' victory, walking in from 5 yards out late in the fourth quarter. The 49ers entered their bye week at 5-3, dropping to second in the NFC West.
With over 100 years as a family-owned company, EB Stone's learned a few things about making plants grow. Start a healthy family hobby with indoor planting with EB Stone's Edna's Best indoor and outdoor potting soil to help your little plants grow into the perfect indoor plant for the kids and family to enjoy. EB Stone's indoor and outdoor potting soil is perfectly blended with all the important ingredients you need to create that perfect indoor and outdoor plant or garden. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. Visit ebstone.org for more gardening tips, products, and locations near you.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Did you see, Cal Draper, that Dabo Sweeney had some criticism? Somebody criticized him on his talk show and said something like, "You don't deserve the money you're making," and he went off on him.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't hear the full exchange, but I did hear about that.
He just went off like a 5-minute rant. You're not going to steal my joy. Well, Jim Crandall had a comment about that on Twitter. Jim Crandall was at Fox 40 here in Sacramento forever. He used to do a talk show on our station. Great guy, and he's retired now. And Jim Crandall says, note to Dabo, criticism comes with the job. Get over it. Let me know if you've ever gotten something like this on Twitter when I was at Fox 40. Quote, I absolutely hate Jim Crandall with the passion of the Christ. Jeez. I wish he would just quit, end quote. And Jim says, hate mail so good, I saved it.
Yeah, he saved that. Wow. Yeah. And it's even worse now.
Yeah.
It's even worse now. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody got a voice.
And it's easier for people like that to find you,
to reach you. Yes.
Let their opinions be known.
Yes. Yeah. The good old days, right?
Yeah. It's Halloween, as you well know, and I promised a ghost story. Have you stayed in the Skirvin Hotel in Oklahoma City?
I have not.
Okay.
I have heard about that hotel. I have not.
There's also in Milwaukee the Pfister, which
Yeah.
I don't know. I think baseball teams have stayed there. I haven't heard many NBA.
Yeah, I
stars
haven't
out there,
stayed
so I
in
don't know.
that one either. Yeah.
All right. So the Skirvin Hotel in Oklahoma City, supposedly haunted. There's some story that supposedly the owner of the hotel had some woman that got pregnant, and it was an illicit affair. So he locked her up in a room, and then she
Oh my God.
left to it. Anyway, some historians say that doesn't even make sense. We don't think that happened, but that's the legend. So some people say they hear screaming and footsteps. Tim Hardaway Jr. Told the story here in the Players Tribune about staying at the Skirvin. And he says, first time he stayed there, he had no problems. A bunch of his teammates were saying they heard things. And he said, I had no problems. Then he says, then I stayed there for the second time. When I check into hotels, I have a routine. I get my key, I head to the room, unpack everything I need to, then head out to grab food or go to the arena. So this time around, I got into the room and I put all my stuff away and left. Came back maybe 30 minutes later. As I walked toward the bed, I glanced to the bathroom and stopped dead in my tracks. My toothbrush had moved from one side of the sink to the other. Tim Hardaway says, I was certain I had placed it on one side of the sink next to all my other stuff. Now it was on the other side of the sink. My first thought was that the housekeeper had done it, but we just checked in and none of the other stuff in the room had moved. So he says, so I went to my go-to plan and just pretended it didn't happen. And he says, that was fine. Everything was fine. Later that night, I was in my room lying in bed with the TV off. He says that was his first mistake because the first time he stayed there, he left the TV on. TV off. Just as I started getting comfortable and was almost asleep, I heard something outside my room. It was a sound of footsteps. At first, I tried to ignore it. I mean, hey, it's a hotel. Other people are here. That's normal. Then I also started hearing this loud screeching coming from the walls and these little voices.
Oh my gosh. Come on.
I couldn't make out any words. Just quick little whispers, says Tim Hardaway. That's when I started to get pretty freaked out. I jumped out of bed. First thing I did was close the blinds. Once again, I don't know why. Don't question my methods. At that point, the footsteps started sounding almost like running.
Come on.
I raced over to the bathroom and turned all the lights on to make sure no one was in there. Then as the footsteps picked up even louder, I swear I actually felt a chill go down my spine. It sounded like someone was right outside my door. I took a deep breath, put my hand on the doorknob. I yanked the door open and saw a completely empty hallway. There was nobody there. Like, I'm not making this up.
This is a lengthy article he wrote,
no reason
right?
to. Yes, I experienced something that night, and to this day, I have no idea what happened. I heard those footsteps, and he says, didn't play well at all during our game the next day. We lost by 27.
Dang.
He says, I don't think any team I've been on that stayed at the Skirvin has won. It's probably because the guys are tired, sluggish, maybe not all that focused because some spirit was messing around in their room. He says, you might think I'm making it up, but after hearing enough stories on team planes and locker rooms from other guys, it's hard not to believe something might be up. Now, most teams stay at a different hotel. When teams do book the team at the Skirvin, a lot of players will pay for their own room at another hotel. If my team still stayed there, I would do the same.
You know what?
Are you buying it?
He went into some pretty extensive detail about that. Like, that's why I'm not buying it. It's a little too far-fetched. Like, if he said his toothbrush moved and the story ended there, ooh, that is kind of spooky. But he's scared hearing screams from the wall, screeching and everything. Is this poltergeist or something? Like, that's what I'm thinking, you know?
I don't know.
And so I'm not buying it. But the fact that it's on a Players Tribune, he signed his name at the bottom of it.
Yes.
He went through the time to actually do that. This is no April Fool's joke or anything like that. I'm still not buying it. That's crazy.
He says that Meta World Peace once said that there were like spirits that were like, they had hands on them.
Really?
A lot of hands, all over. Yeah. And one of the things, here's one of these pieces I read pointed out, you know how players are notorious pranksters.
Yes.
This could be something that's been perpetrated over the years by players over a long period of time. But and then that's the thing. Once it gets in somebody's head, it's like it's
It's
real whether it is or not.
Yeah, and it could be some rookie prank thing too. Like you tell rookies, the first time you go to OKC, yeah, man, this hotel is haunted. One time, I was here. And then, like you said, it gets in your head and you're laying there and all of a sudden you start hearing things that really aren't there. But, I'll be at home. Wife's like, did you hear that? Like, no, be quiet, and so, man, that's spooky.
What's
though.
the one in when the Warriors played in Oakland, the Claremont? And I remember the Spurs, this would have been like 2013. Tim Duncan telling stories of how, there was this room on our floor and we heard people inside there, kids making too much noise. So we complained. And the desk said, there's nobody in that room, sir.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Do you believe in stuff like that?
I'm very skeptical, but I believe there could be some. There's too many unexplained stories to think there's not something. I don't know what it is. One time I was home with just my mom, and my mom she'd go to bed early and she'd turn the TV on, and so we'd come into her room and watch TV with her, and it's just me and her, and we hear footsteps go down the hallway, the unmistakable sound. There was no one else there. And I turned to her and said, did you hear that? And she said, nope. And then we didn't hear anything else. And I checked nothing there. Yeah. And then, I don't know, weeks, months after that, I was talking to her about it. I said, Mom, I can't believe you didn't hear those footsteps. She goes, oh, I heard
She heard them?
She said, I wasn't going to say this.
She goes,
she said, I definitely heard it.
Wow.
I don't know. Creaking in the house, I guess.
Growing up, I used to I liked like Friday the 13th. Like, I was never spooked out by that. Those were some of my favorite movies, too. Like, Black Cat walking across the street. I'm not going on the other side, 7 years bad luck for breaking. Yeah. I don't believe in that kind of stuff, man. But I know people who do. And it's like, remember, don't step on the cracks when you walk down the street, all kinds of stuff like that. I just think, I don't know, man. Is it like, if you believe, then do you start manifesting that and seeing that stuff?
Probably.
And
that's
so,
a big part of it.
Were you a Ghost Hunters kind of guy? Remember the TV show Ghost Hunters? Would you do that?
That probably was a little too scary for me.
You ever been to the Preston Castle? You ever do that?
No.
Oh, where's that? Is that the one in Ione, I think it is, or something like that, out that way?
I haven't.
And they got this haunted thing set up right now, and so I heard it's pretty intense. But I'm not a believer in stuff like that, so I'm just like, it's funny because my wife went to the Preston Castle. They had the haunted house. And she's like, yeah, they had these kids on the floor that would like crawl up to you and try and touch your leg. And I was like, did you kick them? Because that's your first instinct, right? Somebody touching you, like, you kicking them. She's like, no, they were kids. I'm like, darn, I might have kicked some kids if I was there that night.
I would kick them.
Right. So, that's hilarious. I'm not a believer in that stuff.
Yeah,
man.
there's some theory I read that is called some like stone ribbon theory. And there's a theory that if something really traumatic happens in a room or someplace, if it's really traumatic, like something horrible happens to someone, it can leave like an imprint. Doesn't mean that you see the ghost, but at least
I heard of that. I heard of that.
So you see it or something, but it's just because it's sort of I don't know. I can't explain it. It's not that there's ghosts there. It's just whatever happened there left a mark on time.
Is it true that you have to disclose if someone passed away in a house? Is that true? Like if you're selling it or something, like
going to follow the rule, right? What are you going to do?
Right. I mean, I thought you're supposed to disclose of that, but no, that stuff doesn't faze me, Whitey. This is drapes we talking about here, big fella. I don't get scared by things,
All right. So you're gonna stay in the Skirvin next time you guys.
I would stand by myself. I would stay in the Skirvin. No doubt.
All right. You're not buying Tim Hardaway's story. Happy Halloween, whether you buy it or not. I'll tell you what's scary right now is the state of the 49ers, right? We can agree on that. The return of the Empire is coming up. So when we come back, we're going to check in with Emil and Nate. They're getting ready
got
for
his
their
Niners
show.
shirt on.
Yeah,
what the heck? He's supporting that losing. No.
What do they think of the big trade today? That and more when we continue here with the Drive Guys. Boo! Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Shop Black Friday every day and get the best new deals all month long only at Lowe's. Right now, save up to $800 on select major appliances, plus save an extra $100 on select laundry pairs. And there's more. Bring home pre-lit artificial Christmas trees starting at $49 because Lowe's knows deals. Valid through 10/31. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Imagine it's the final game of the season, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are making a comeback. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
I got one more ghost story for you on this Halloween. By the way, Emil and Nate are here. They're getting ready for the return of the Empire. You're pro ghost, right, Emil? Yeah, and Nate, you're not so much.
Is your mic on, bro?
On.
There
we go.
All right,
there we go.
We got you.
I'm not anti-ghost. I guess
You're pro ghost? You're like a fan of ghosts?
I'm a fence-sitting ghost guy.
Okay,
I'm sitting on that ghost fence.
From the Pfister Hotel, that's in Milwaukee, supposedly haunted. Players like Bryce Harper, Giancarlo Stanton, and Justin Upton have publicly discussed having their clothes thrown around the room, furniture being moved, or the radio randomly turning on. And let's see, Michael Young, when he was with the Rangers in 2013, he wrote for ESPN The Magazine, "Oh, bleep, that place. Listen, I'm not someone who spreads ghost stories, so if I'm telling you this, it happened. A couple of years ago, I was lying in bed after a night game, and I was out. My room was locked. I heard these footsteps inside my room stomping around. I'd heard all these stories about this hotel, so I was wide awake at that point. Then I heard it again, these footsteps on the floor. I yelled out, 'Hey, make yourself at home. Hang out. Have a seat. Do not wake me up, okay?' After that, I didn't hear a thing for the rest of the night. I just let him know he was welcome, that we could be pals. He could marinate in there for as long as he needed to, just as long as he didn't wake me up."
Wow.
Where's
Draper's
this
out
at?
behind it. That was in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Okay.
Interesting.
Just at a hotel or something?
Yeah, there are some players that refuse to stay there, or
Wow.
the Skirvin in Oklahoma City.
Interesting. You know, another state that's cursed or that's haunted, Arizona.
The whole state?
Arizona.
The whole state is.
Arizona's got some places that are super haunted. Like they got a place called Tombstone, Jerome. There's like old like Western hotels, and there's actually a hotel in Jerome. It's like a tourist attraction. It's haunted. They say it's haunted.
Wow.
You can stay with the ghosts and stuff. And there's a certain floor that like had like a bunch of deaths and a bunch of experiences. Oh yeah.
Kyle Emil says this building is haunted.
Dude, I'm like Kyrie. I came in here with some sage, and it's all good. Once I arrived, it's all good.
Hey,
I hope
Kyrie
so.
supposedly is doing a documentary on the Skirvin.
Is he? Oh yeah, I think I did hear that. I did hear that.
Can I be filled in on what the Skirvin is?
It's just the name of the hotel in Oklahoma
In
City.
OKC,
The
yeah.
Skirvin Hotel.
I thought it was that thing.
You clearly wasn't listening last segment.
I
when we
thought
went
it's
through
something to do with sucking on like a lime or something.
No, that's scurvy. That's scurvy.
Sucking on a line. That's what you get from not sucking on a line. Yeah.
Wait, why is Kyrie doing the documentary? He didn't play for Oklahoma City.
No, it's just Kyrie though.
He's heard about it, I guess, or
maybe he's into that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Why are
exactly.
you getting upset about that?
Why is he poking his business and it's something that's not his?
Dude, if I said De'Aaron Fox was doing it, you'd be like, "Oh, that's pretty good. That's a good idea."
I'd be like, hell no. Don't go poking where you don't need to be poking. That's all I'm saying.
So you say this building is cursed, or like something's haunted?
Haunted, yes. Cursed.
Would you spend the night in this building by yourself?
No.
Really?
I've come back after
Come on.
I've come back after Sacramento Republic games and definitely been scared.
All the doors are like really locked.
Yeah, I get weird vibes when I'm all by myself in a building that's
Dude, just stay in the studio, lock the door, cover it up.
You know the history of the building, right?
No, please tell me.
It used to be an old jean factory, I believe is what
This
I was told.
building?
Yes. I believe that's what I've been told.
Is this true?
It's a sewing place. That's why
Thank
have
you.
like we're upstairs and you can look down because that's where
Oh,
they used to look
I
down on
didn't even-
workers.
and that freaks
doing
me
all
out the
that.
most.
Sweatshop? This place?
Well, I don't know.
Would you say it was a sweatshop?
Yeah.
Careful now.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's why, 'cause
Interesting. I had
when
no
you walk
idea.
through those hallways, you see the windows, you look down.
What's so funny is you would think
terrifying.
they'd remodel or something like that, right? We just on the cheap. You know what? We just going to keep it as is.
They threw the logo up right here so you can't see.
That's all I'm saying. When I heard there was a history of this building and it used to be a garment factory, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, there's some stuff went down here for sure.
But okay. I
Why
mean,
a
it was-
garment
yeah,
factory?
that's-
Why stuff got to go down at a garment
I don't
factory?
know. I just old timey making stuff. Someone maybe died in the job. I don't know.
You know, like if it was a battlefield or
Right.
something. Oh, maybe, but a garment factory.
Garment factory. Something had to go down there.
I'm just.
I love it.
There's definitely some
Man,
stories in
you're
these
killing me,
walls.
bro.
All I'm saying.
Okay.
Jeez.
Oh,
all right.
My mind is going 100 miles a minute thinking about all
I
this
know.
stuff
You
that's
guys
happening.
about to talk football. Forget that. It's
Yeah.
Halloween.
No, Niners lost 3 in a row. I don't
That's
care.
spooky
really-
as it is.
right? Oh, man.
Yeah. You excited about Chase Young?
Yeah. They need they need to do more, but it's good to get got Chase Young. They didn't do enough, in my
You
opinion.
can always do more, but yeah.
Can they?
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys grade the Niners trade deadline? You guys got a letter grade?
I give it a B.
A B.
That's what I had.
Yeah.
A B.
Yeah, B plus, maybe. Yeah.
I'm floating A minus, a little higher.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Oh, you're
with
pretty
Chase.
happy on this.
I am. I know Chase Young, 6 sacks this year. You know, he's coming off
Didn't
his
give
injury.
up much for him, that's for sure.
Yeah. So third round, it was a compensatory pick
Yeah.
too. That was for.
But let me ask you this, though,
Yeah.
because I know you guys are like the Niners. And I understand Chase
gosh.
Young.
He's coming
No,
after
but
you.
I'm saying
for you.
we know the defense, the pass rush hasn't been there. They haven't been great at stopping the run either. Who should we point fingers to on that defensive line? Who's not getting it done on that defensive line? And does Chase Young help that?
I think it might
Yes.
be coaching. Is that
Steve Wilkes or
I
somebody?
think Steve Wilkes. I don't know. I mean, after seeing like the Minnesota game where he dialed up that 0 blitz, and I don't know. I'm not trying to.
That's
call him
one
out.
bad call.
That's
Come
two
on
different
now.
things, isn't it? I mean, yeah, that was a terrible call.
Yeah,
but we're talking about them not getting enough pressure, and they didn't feel they were getting enough pressure last year. That's why they brought in Cleveland Ferrell, and
Yeah.
that's kind of been
So-
a problem for a while for them.
Why is it not working though with 85% of the same players on the defense?
And that's
the
my
coaching
question to
change?
you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's the players. Like Bosa has to be better. Where's Hargrave been at? I haven't heard of Hargrave's name all season long.
He had a combined sack of Bosa this weekend, but Fred Warner said that one of the better quotes I've heard in a while. And we were talking about Steve Wilkes. He goes, "That's one of the least of my concerns right now is Steve Wilkes." He goes, "At the end of the day, players win games, not coaches. Players do, and they haven't played to their standards. That's the one thing that Fred keeps saying is that the last 3 weeks of the year, the last 3 games, we have not played good on defense, and that's why we've lost. Is because we're not playing winning football. We're not playing Niners defense.
Didn't they really simplify things against Cincinnati and then more of a basic game plan?
Yeah,
and they just got boat raced. They didn't stop anything.
It feels
or
like
anybody.
it feels like Wilkes is guessing on the play calling. Like like how do you go 1 week from sending the house and sending the pressures against Minnesota, the next week not send the blitz on 3rd and 3?
It's an inconsistent game plan for sure.
Mhm.
It's really weird watching this team, but the biggest issue for me is they can't run the ball, and the defense is on the field too much. I know the time of possession was almost 50-50 this game, favored the Bengals a little bit. I think it was like 31 minutes to 29 or something, but you can't have your defense on the field that much if you want to win, and you need to be able to run the ball. The pass game, I thought, has been great. I think, which is very weird for the 49ers because usually the tiers have been defense, run game, pass game.
Everything
Pass
off
game for the
kilter.
Niners is their best weapon right now, and it's not even close. It's shocking they have the best running back in football, and they cannot run the ball.
Yeah.
It just really on such a layman's terms, on such a low level, does not make sense.
It's a lot of it is Trent Williams. A lot of it.
Yeah, I guess so.
That
It must
and
be.
that and subpar play from the guards as well as Jake Brendel. Jake Brendel, their center, has really slipped up the last couple of weeks, allowed a lot more pressure. I think he led the game in pressures allowed for the line, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
This is something we're going to talk to Larry Krueger about today, too. He had a tweet yesterday about his opinion on kind of what the Niners should do. And one of them was maybe start Feliciano at center. And it's like, okay, maybe, that might be the answer. The Niners made a move today with Jesse Davis, correct?
Yeah, a
And
veteran Jesse Davis.
Yeah, another lineman, not a swing tackle, but like a guy who can kind of play all over the line. So the O-line is just so chemistry based that making changes like that is
Right, because you got to play like the fingers.
Exactly. I would have loved to see them go after Ezra Cleveland. The Jaguars got that guard they got from the Vikings of their 6th rounder.
See, I thought they were going to get
I would
6th rounder. That's it.
That's
all
all
it costs. Yeah.
I would have loved to see them go get Ezra Cleveland, who was very, very, very good this season. Didn't play against them in the Minnesota game because he was hurt, but I think he was a good guard and plays that zone scheme as well, similar to what they run in San Francisco. So
Boy, everybody's running that now.
a lot of them are, yes, but
running
I can't look at the line right now and go, they're playing well, we shouldn't add anyone. I think they need that.
So let me ask you this though, because I'm hearing all this from you guys.
Oh boy.
We need to address the defensive line.
Yeah.
Need to improve the secondary. Need to improve the offensive line. Steve Wilkes. This team has a lot of holes. From what I'm hearing from you guys, they're not are they a Super Bowl contender as presently constructed?
Not when you lose three in a row.
Not when you lose 3 in a row.
It's the middle of the season. They weren't last year, though, when they lost to the Chiefs right after they got McCaffrey.
They're 3 and 4 into the bye.
It's early in the season. This was an argument I think you made against us where it's like, it's early in the season.
I said that early.
So I don't think right now they are. I mean, it's crazy when you hear like, oh, the Detroit Lions are Super Bowl contenders, because I'm not buying that quite yet. Yeah. I think they're very good. I'm just not on that train.
They also got blown up by the Ravens last week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Do you remember 2 years ago at the deadline? We talked about this earlier. The 49ers were interested in Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
He didn't want to come here, and John Lynch had to say, yeah, because they were 3-5. Remember? And at that time, and they ended up going to the NFC Championship game, but that was at the deadline. And Lynch said, yeah, if you're a guy like that, we're not a really attractive destination right now. And they turned that thing around.
Respectfully, I don't think the Niners want Odell right now.
No, I
That's probably a blessing in disguise. Odell hasn't played to his standards in many years.
With Odell, too, it's like you look at who was quarterbacking at the time. That's not the most receiver-friendly quarterback
QB,
or receiver-friendly offense. He's not known for blocking,
At all.
like Ayuk. He's a deep threat or catch that slant and take it to the house for 80 yards or one-hand catch over someone in the end zone, crazy stuff like that. I don't think it was a great fit for him. But
No,
yeah,
I don't
you're
either.
right.
But I mean, the point is that it was so bleak at that point that a guy who was a good player would say, I don't want to go there. And they ended up going to the NFC title game.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Beggars can't be choosers.
It when you look at seeding and stuff, you get so confident and excited, and then you're like, oh, well, seeding doesn't matter. Like 3 in a row, just win one more.
Well,
Let's get back on
seeding
track.
does matter now because Seattle's in first place.
Well, it does, but yeah, obviously.
But there's still time, though.
There's-
You still got
yes.
2 against Seattle. You play Philly. Philly has a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Detroit is, I'm not buying them. One thing is they can't be a wild card team, right? They
Niners?
can't. Yeah, Niners. Like I'm talking about in terms of Like that would be a tough road.
Yeah.
If they go in as a wild
They
card
love the
team.
first round bye. They
Yeah.
want that
They
so
need that
badly.
bye.
They need
Right.
it for
I
rest.
don't think they're going to get it.
Neither do
I don't think they're going to get it. I mean, they've been a wild card team these past 2 years.
And they kind of perform better when they are the underdogs.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's not
It
wild card,
seems.
but yeah.
All right, we got more of the Meal and Nate coming up. You're in San Francisco tomorrow?
In San Francisco, coming to you from
Yeah.
Chase Center tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yes.
Drive Guys back with you tomorrow. Return of the Empire with Emil and Nate next right here, Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 19